Hello, my Teaserking family. How's everybody today on Sunday, August 13th? The General is with us, General Chow. So, we had preseason games yesterday. I'm going to make some notes as I was checking my box scores as the action was unfolding. So I was proud of myself. So I go to the gas station. I normally would get a Slurpee or a diet pop and then worry about my foot. So I went and got fucking water. I don't know what it is. Iceland spring water. Yeah, I like Iceland. And instead of the pop, so my foot wouldn't bother me. So I was kind of proud there because normally I don't get water. I got it here. I don't need to pay $2 for water. That's probably just tap water. Anyway. So let's go through. Today there's 1 o'clock Kansas City, New Orleans, and at 4 o'clock it's San Francisco and Oakland. Now, why can you not bet these games? Because you have no idea. Houston wins 20-9 over New England. I think we covered those three. We're on Friday. I don't remember if the Lions, I think that was Friday night too. So we covered that. Houston, CJ Stroud looked terrible. Zappy looked pretty good for New England, but they didn't play Mac Jones. I don't know why. You think they'd want to trade that guy. I don't get all the fuss about Alabama quarterbacks and Alabama players. They very rarely show up in the pros. Derrick Henry's probably the exception. Seattle beats Minnie 24-13. Again, the quarterbacks aren't playing. Jefferson didn't play, so you get a little read on it. Green Bay 36-19. Jordan Love looked old. I don't know, who knows? See, this is the problem. If they look bad against this talent, they're bad. So CJ Stroud looking bad against New England, he looks bad because these are not starters that they're playing against. But when they look good, you don't know what to make of it because they're playing the backup. So Jordan Love had a pretty good game, but they're playing the backup. So it's really kind of mysterious how to analyze maybe this week. Maybe you take all 3 weeks. The one thing I did take out of it was the coaches who played the starters. So Houston does get CJ Stroud on the field. Should have played him the first half. God knows he needs it. Where was Mac Jones? Which is surprising New England didn't play Mac Jones because he normally would play Tom Brady in the preseason. Seattle doesn't play Smith. A little surprising. And then Minnesota doesn't play Cousins. God knows he needs work. And then we got Green Bay. Jordan Love played. He needed it. Burrow was still injured. So I read a thing on Burrow that he's fine. He'll be ready for week 1. No need to rush him out in the first preseason game. There's 2, there's 3, and there's the bye. So he's definitely he's fine. He'll be 100% for week 1. So now we can bet Cincinnati -1's a joke. Detroit 21-16. I think we talked about it yesterday. I think we got to Washington, Cleveland yesterday. No, we got to Denver because Russell Wilson. So we're going to take it from Buffalo, Indy. I think that was yesterday. And we've got our wonderful Anthony Richardson, the big number 3, wasted the worst number 3 or 4 pick I've ever seen in my life. 7-12, 58%, 67 yards. So he's throwing he's getting about 9 yards or a completion. No touchdowns, has the interception, just like Stroud was a terrible interception. So what do you take out of it? 7-12, a lot of dump downs, but he's only 58%. So do you get excited? No, we know he stinks, but we'll play along. Okay. Again, he's doing it against Buffalo. Doesn't have that strong of a defense. But okay. I mean, he's still, right now, I think he's an average quarterback. Again, 7 completions, 67 yards. Gardner Minshew has 6 completions. See, Gardner Minshew goes 6 of 6, 72 yards. So he had 1 less completion for 5 more yards, but he's 6 of 6. Richardson 7-12. That's what I take out of it. And the interception. Buffalo, Barkley, from, what is it? It's from USC, Matt Barkley, yeah. So it's Matt Barkley goes 14 of 15 for 172 yards. So it's not like 14 of 15 for 90 yards where it's all dumped down. So he's actually making good throws. And I don't know who Kay Allen is, 8 of 15. So Kay Allen's, he's third string at best if he makes the team. Do I need a quarterback who goes 8 of 15 in a preseason game? He probably comes in late against, third team guys. Not too good. And Barkley looks good, 14 of 15. I don't recognize. Richardson ran twice for 7. Hey, Bobby Bo. Kyle Allen? Who's Kyle Allen? Like you know who Kyle Allen is. I know there was an Allen on Arkansas, and then there was another Allen somewhere else. This guy's on Buffalo. I don't know. He ain't good anyway. So looking at the running backs, I don't really – this is the first game, Bobby. We're talking Indy, Buffalo. So Richardson, 7-12 and an interception. Yeah, just what I figured. So rushing, I don't know who D. Jackson is. Hall, not much. Richardson ran twice for 7. Realizing this isn't college, the quarterbacks are running too much. And then Buffalo has Mims, 7 for 23. And Jay Cook, I think he's from Georgia. I know they drafted a Georgia running back and didn't play him that much last year. 4 for 20. That sounds like him. Receiving, I have no idea. M. Turner, J. Downs. I think it's Isaiah McKenzie, 3 for 20. But I thought he was on Buffalo. This guy's on Indy. Who the hell would leave Buffalo for Indy? And then Mike Strahan's playing. Buffalo, Andy Isabella, Kay Johnson, Aitman. Never heard of half these guys. So, again, it's amazing how many receivers they play, and you're trying to wonder, what the fuck are they doing? Anyway, I'm more focusing on the quarterbacks. So, on Indy, there's Gardner Minshew, guy out of Washington State who's pretty good. He was at Jacksonville. Ellinger, who I liked, he's out of Texas. He was 8 and 9. So to me, this should be your order: Minshew, Ellinger, and Richardson. Richardson is not better than either of those two quarterbacks. So this should be your lineup. I thought Ellinger was not bad. Certainly not bad at Texas. Certainly better than Richardson. So the Richardson draft pick is surprising. You had Ellinger, played well at Texas, shows a lot more arm and knowledge of quarterbacking than Richardson did. So this looks like a Trey Lance pick. You got him because he's athletic, but you don't realize he's not a quarterback. You have quarterbacks. So really, I mean, look at Trey Lance. He played 1 year in college as a freshman, doesn't play the next year or two. And then you draft him number 3, and he gets beat out by Brock Purdy, who doesn't, he's the last draft pick. That's about how stupid the GMs are. Here you got Ellinger. What the fuck are you picking up Richardson? He's not better than Minshew, and he's not better than Ellinger. So we got a feel for what Indy is going to be week 1. And Buffalo, we know we got Josh Allen. He used to be at Texas A&M. Who, Allen? Oh, this Allen? There was one at Arkansas. Okay, so this guy was A&M. Well, there's no good quarterbacks coming out of A&M. All right, so wasted pick, this Richardson guy. For what I see that's on the team competing with him, he's third string. Yeah, Trey Lance needs to retire immediately and go buy gold and silver. Well, I don't know what San Francisco. See, this is the problem. Everybody wants tonight the GM of Frisco, right? Who I can't think of his name, but I can see him play on Tampa. He was their safety. He makes this idiot move. And he lost draft picks for it. Think where Frisco would be now if they didn't trade the draft picks and didn't draft Trey Lance. I mean, they'd just give him the Super Bowl. All right, Chicago and Tennessee. This game we've got to really look into because it's kind of misleading. So for Tennessee, Malik Willis, he stinks, 16 of 25, 189 yards, 1 interception. And Will Levis, 9 of 14, 85 yards. See, he's a dumper. 9 for 85. He's just dumping down. He still had an interception. Malik Willis out of Louisville or Liberty? More of a running. This is like Lamar Jackson. He's 16 of 25. He did get 189 yards, so you're kind of curious there. And then the Bears. Now this makes no sense. Fields, 3 of 3 for 129 yards. He hits a big one to DJ Moore. He hits a big one to some running back. Malik Willis rushes for a 2-yard touchdown. Fields, 62-yard touchdown to DJ Moore. What the fuck was this defense doing? Then he hits Khalil Herbert, I've never heard of, 56-yard touchdown on a screen pay. So then Hassan Haskins is on Tennessee, the guy from Michigan. So that's why they let Derrick Henry go. They don't need Derrick Henry. This guy's the same thing. So somebody should be picking up Derrick Henry who needs 4th down goal line, somebody like the Lions. Hassan Haskins, Michigan guy, gets a 1-yard touchdown and field goal. So The Bears win 23-17. Now, this is the problem. The Bears have a very weak defense, as we know. And here's Will Levis. Let's see, who do we know who started the game? Malik Willis starts. So Malik Willis against the better Bears, 16 of 25 for 189 and an interception, no touchdowns. And then Will Levis comes in 9 of 14, an interception for 85 yards against they're already a bad enough team without this. So now you got this really weak team. The general chow, Bobby. And Levis can't do shit against him. So it's week one, but, we'll keep an eye on it. I'm not a Will Levis fan. I don't think he did anything. Kentucky, they scored 20 a game with him last year. That's not a big number. So Fields 3 for 3, then Peterman 4 of 6. We know he sucks. Why is he even on the team? We know he sucks. Are you really going to keep this guy who throws 10 interceptions? Then T. Baggett, never heard of him, 4 or 5 for 80 yards. And then P.J. Walker, I've heard of him from Temple, 4 of 8, 50%, with 1 interception against Tennessee's 4th string. So Chicago's got problems. I mean, Fields, we know he ain't 3 of 3 for 129 yards with 2 long catches. I mean, what? I don't know. What the fuck is that? Okay, so, all right, we give him credit. Avocado. We give him credit for at least making the pass. So what'll happen is DJ Moore will line up, the number 1 cornerback, and another guy will double team him, force Fields to go somewhere else. Does he have another receiver? The guy who caught the other pass was their running back. So Hassan Haskins at Tennessee, and they're going to run, Willis and Levis. The Bears are Ron Johnson, 12-44. Homer, Herbert, who knows. And then a bunch of receivers who I have no idea, except for DJ Moore, Isaiah Ford maybe. But again, it's too early. See, what I don't get is here's Tennessee's receiver list. Now, you're going to carry all them on your team. See, what you're doing is you're wasting time that your top maybe 6 or 7 receivers could have been getting reps and playing time in a real game, even though it's preseason, instead of this bullshit. Well, we got K. Dowell 1 for 6. So he got action. Are you going to carry K. Dowell? Can you even read if K. Dowell is any good? This is their problem, right? So they waste all these passes to these guys instead of focusing on your top 3 or 4 who need the work. I don't understand. What are you afraid of? Oh, they might get hurt. Well, what's going to happen week 1? Are you not going to play your players because they might get hurt? Well, we don't want to get them hurt in a preseason game. Oh, why? Is that different? They don't need practice? Everybody practices. I mean, basketball has practice. I'm sure everybody played. Magic, Kareem all played. Bird. I don't get it. So it's because it's preseason. If they get hurt in preseason, it's worse than if they get hurt in the first quarter of week 1 because they weren't prepared and they weren't in shape and they pulled their hamstring, which happens to every team. I remember going through, I think Baltimore had 40 guys on IR last year. I mean, it was ridiculous because they don't practice them. Bobby. Yeah, Trey Lance needs to, yeah, okay. Except for Johnny Football, of course. Well, yeah, he's the man. He's the Rick Rude of Texas A&M football. Rick Rude was actually married with 3 kids. Who knew? All right, so as you can see, no, I got avocado. I just started, and then I got General Chow. That's it. I don't have an omelet. I should make one because I got one hamburger left. I'll probably have that for dinner. Then I took out a roast. So I'm going to cook that for tomorrow and Tuesday. All right, so what did we learn? Nothing. Fields, 3 of 3. Did he run? Let's see if Fields ran. No, he just threw the 3 passes and got off the field. He didn't get injured, even though he should have played the whole first half because God knows he can't do it. Fields and Moore, obviously, DJ Moore need a lot of work together in a game. I think both should have played the first half. I think that was a huge missed opportunity by the coach. See, the problem is when you worry about injury, you miss practice. Fields should have been out there with Moore and Herbert and whoever else their 1 and 2 receivers, tight ends are, and should have played the whole first fucking half. God knows Fields needs it. God knows he can't complete. It was probably a 10-yard pass that DJ Moore broke. I can't imagine it was a 50-yard pass. God knows he needs work. Now, Sean Payton has Russell Wilson out there. What the fuck? The general. Yeah, I told you I was getting the general. All right, so what do we learn? Not much. And we know Chicago's got a weak defense. We know where did I go? We know Chicago's got a weak defense. Fields got lucky with that, but he's an over. He's going to run for his yards. So did I learn to bet the over in the Chicago-Green Bay game? Well, if we go back to Green Bay, what did we learn about Jordan Love? And so we learned Jordan Love goes 7 of 10 for 46 yards with 1 touchdown. Sean Clifford from Iowa, I believe, Penn State. He's from Penn State, so he's much better than Love. 20 of 26, 1 touch, 2 interceptions, but he throws for 208 yards. So 20 of 26 for 208 versus 7 of 10 for 46. How the fuck do you throw 7 of 10 for 46 yards? What are you kidding me? 46 yards on 7 completions? I mean, they're all dump offs. E. Wilson, a running back. I hate because I can't click the name and get the college on Yahoo. It just brings up the team. So I never heard of them. Sean Clifford, 2 for 27. A. Dillon, 2 of 14. So did we learn anything? We learned Sean Clifford's a lot better than Jordan Love. So how long will Jordan Love be out there? They'll probably pull the plug on him because they got Sean Clifford, who's much better. It's funny how the coaches don't understand the better player. It just blows my mind. All right, the Jets, 27, Carolina, nothing. That's what you expect from the Jets, the shutout. This is the premier defense in the league. We got Zach Wilson for the Jets, 14 of 20. He's looking good, but we got Aaron Rodgers, so he's a good backup. BYU, he's starting to play good. For Carolina, Bryce Young goes 4 of 6 for 21 yards. What the fuck is this? 4 of 6 for 21 yards, and you pull him? Oh, he's ready? If the week started next week, he's ready to play 4 of 6 for 21 yards? Jesus Christ, 1 sack for 9 yards. Okay, he's ready. He threw six passes. He completed 4 for 20 yards. Yeah, he's a superstar. Yeah, Joe Montana. Matt Corral from Ole Miss, 15 of 22, 126 yards. Much nicer. No touchdowns, 1 interception. Now, what do I take out of this? The Jets' strong defense. Let's see. The Jets running Abanda Kanda, 12 rushes, 56 yards. So I don't know the Jets running backs. Carter. Carolina's got Chubba Hubbard, so he played 4 for 9, and then S. Brown 8 for 34. Blackshear I like. He's from Virginia Tech. Gave him the ball once for 2 yards. Receiving, I don't know these guys. I think the Lazard 0 for 0. I don't know the other. Uzama from Cincinnati 1 for 6. And Carolina, right? Who's Carolina got to catch the ball? So you bring in a quarterback from Alabama who runs a passing offense into a team with no receivers. D. Wright, 3 for 35. I don't know. They don't have any. And they got rid of DJ Moore to the Bears. What do you bring in Bryce Young and you don't give him a receiver? So that'll be the first. Well, we got to bring in receivers. We got to bring in Tyreek Hill and Downtown Brown and Jerry Rice and we need to bring these guys in because my quarterback can only throw to receivers that can get open. Okay. So 27-0. What do we learn? It's about exactly what I thought. Bryce Young's another one of these. Bryce Young looks fine in first snap. Yeah, all 4 or 6 for 20 yards. Yeah, he looks great. Superstar. So what do we know? Carolina, an under team. The Jets, we know, is an under team with this defense. Okay, so that's what we see there. Jacksonville and Dallas, 28-23. Now, there was one thing I noticed in this box score. So Nathan Rourke of Ohio, 9 of 17 for 153 yards. C.J. Beathard from Iowa, 6 of 13. And Trevor Lawrence, 5 of 6 for 36 yards. There you go again. This little dump. 5 for 36. And then Rourke. Now, I thought Rourke's the quarterback of Ohio this year because I looked at my magazine. It's his brother. There's another Rourke at Ohio who's a very good player who we'll be betting on. And here's Nathan Rourke. So I remember he was good at Ohio. So no wonder I got confused. I said, this guy's still there. No, it's his brother. So Nathan Rourke was pretty good at Ohio. I think you got 3 bad quarterbacks here. Rourke, okay. Beathard from Iowa, not great. And Trevor Lawrence, that's what he gives you, 5 of 6 for 30 yards. Now, here's where Mickey Rourke could have been Mickey. Although it says N. Rourke, but maybe it's Mickey Rourke. Now, here's what I love is vindication. I told you how good Will Grier was. He was from Florida, and he goes to West Virginia. And yesterday he shined for Dallas. 22 of 31, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And almost brought him back to win. He put it up when you needed it. Cooper Rush, 10 of 12. Very good. You want to ask me the question, I'm going to give you the answer. I'd rather have Will Grier than Dak Prescott all day long. Prescott, too many interceptions. See, what I would do is trade Prescott to Indy or Houston. God knows they need quarterback. Let them fuck around with the guy who can't complete 20, who throws 20 interceptions. I got my guy in Will Grier right here. I got him. I got my guy I've been looking for that I want to draft. I already got him. $22 of 31 for 200 yards. 2 touchdowns. That's my point. Trevor Lawrence, 5 of 6, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And I saw the interception. It wasn't pretty. So he had a touchdown and his interceptions. And if you blitz him, he's all fucked up. And here's Will Grier. So I like Will Grier, and I told you that. Just like I used to like Flowers from South Florida, who never got the chance. And the other guy, Kellen Moore, who I said should be starting for the Lions. They never played him. Plays one game for Dallas, throws for 440 yards, and then breaks his ankle, and that was it. And then he became the offensive coordinator. What a wasted draft pick! I mean, if you got Stafford and you're going to draft Kellen Moore and not use him, then why are you drafting him? And why aren't you trading him? Typical Lions. They waste a pick when they don't play him. So Dallas has their quarterback. Although I think they should still trade Prescott, get the number 1 pick, and still get Rising or Hartman. I mean, that's what I would do if I was a GM. But if I have Will Grier, I might go after – what I might do if I have Will Grier and he's as good as I think he is, I would trade Prescott for the number 1 pick, and I'd take Brock Bowers, the tight end from Georgia, who's the best player in college football by a mile. That's why they've won 2 titles. He's that in the defense, and that's what I would do. I'd get rid of Prescott for Brock Bowers. I'll see you in the Super Bowl for the next 5 years. Us against Kansas City and Cincinnati. Jacksonville running. Etnine, 5 for 22. Mickey Rourke, 6 for 20. Sarah Connor, 7 for 15. CJ Beathard, why is he running? 3 for 3. Some guy named Bigsby, 9 of 52. And Dennis Johnson from Boston, 5 of 31. Dallas, here's Dallas's other thing. What a draft, and they don't even understand it. Deuce Vaughn from Kansas State. This guy's great. 8 for 50 with the touchdown. You got Will Grier out there with Deuce Vaughn and I don't know who they're, Michael Irvin and whoever their receivers are, and their defense. Dallas does not understand how good they are. This guy is so much better than Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, for that matter. Deuce Vaughn's incredible for Kansas State. He won all these games. You can't stop him. He's a good runner. He's got moves. He's a little guy. Reminds me of the other guy who played 20 years in the NFL from Kansas State, who I can't think of for the life of me right now. But he's just like him, only he's a little bit bigger and a little bit tougher. What a draft! But does Dallas realize what they got? Obviously not. He ran the ball 8 for 50, not 8 for 10. 8 for 50. So you got Will Grier, 22 at 31, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns against Jacksonville. So, it's discounted a little. And then you got Deuce Vaughn, 8 for 50 and a touchdown. Yeah, they're ready. That's the team you got to put on the field, but they're going to play Dak Prescott, and they're going to play Tony Pollard, and they're going to wonder, geez, we lost again because Dak Prescott turned it over 5 times. Receiving, who knows? Sarah Connor, she's got 2 for 22. Calvin Ridley, 2 for 21. Why is he playing? He might get hurt. He's Alabama. Of course they're going to get hurt. Christian Kirk, 2 for 12. Dennis Johnson, 1 for 7. They had a pretty well-rounded and Robert Parrish, 0 for 0. Dallas, Jay Stevens, don't know, 5 for 56 and a touchdown. Ferguson, 3 for 38. Oh, Dennis Houston, Tolbert, Turbin, Deuce Vaughn, 3 for 6. He catches the ball out of the backfield. So Dallas has just found their backfield. But the question is, you have probably the worst coach in the history of coaching as your coach, McCarthy. Does he understand what he's got? He's got Will Grier and Deuce Vaughn and Michael Irvin and whoever else is Lamb Jones, Ham Jones, whoever's their receivers. Jay Novacek at tight end. Does he realize what he's got? I'm not sure he does. All right, so look at Dallas. Now, Dallas against the Giants. Now I'm thinking over because I see this Dallas team should score a ton with this thing, and their defense is good. Now we go to Philly and Baltimore. Now here's a tidbit nobody knew. The Ravens extend NFL record preseason win streak to 24 games, winning 20-19 over Philly. Does anybody really care? I mean, okay, I thought preseason wasn't important. We don't want to get anybody hurt. So let's take a look at it. Let's break it down. And by the way, Philly could have tied the game. They get a pick six with 7 minutes left, and for some reason they go for two. With Ian Book from Notre Dame, the guy sucked at Notre Dame. All of a sudden he's going to be good here. And they go for two and they don't get it. And then with Ian Book, they can't move. So Baltimore wins 2019. Let's look at it. Tanner McKee from Stanford. This is Philadelphia's wonderful backup quarterback. They're fucked if Hurts goes down. Tanner McKee, 10 of 20, 148 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Marcus Mariota, what is this fucker doing? 7-11 for 58 yards, very impressive. And Ian Book 1-4 for 11. Well, at least I give him 11 yards for his completion. What a bunch of crap they got. And Hurts is no picnic either. Hurts is not very good. Then we go to Baltimore. Tyler Huntley, I believe he's out of UCLA. I believe. Very good. 8 of 11, 88 yards. John Johnson, the guy who sucked for the Niners. Why are you picking this guy up? What part of that championship game that John Johnson had that you think he can play in the NFL? Because I, from what I saw, I wouldn't touch this guy with a 10-foot pole. 8 of 12 for 45 yards. And then Anthony Brown, 3 of 8. I vaguely remember the name. I don't know which college, but 3 of 8 for 7 yards. I think that tells it all. Here, Huntley had 1 touchdown, no interceptions. John Johnson, 1 touchdown and no interceptions. And Anthony Brown, I think it's from Duke, 3 of 8 for 7 yards and an interception. So we can get rid of Brown. We can get rid of Johnson. Huntley, if he's from UCLA, I don't mind. And then you got Lamar. So you're fucked at your quarterback position. Baltimore has no idea what they're doing. Philadelphia, Rashard Penny, 9 for 34. Okay. Mariota, 4 for 29. It's a preseason game. He might get hurt. Why is he running 4 times? For 29 yards. I mean, he's running like he's a running back. DeAndre Swift from the Lions, 2 for 24. They grab all the old Lions players. They got big play Slay and all the guys the Lions let go because they don't want to pay. So Swift, 2 for 24. Ian Book, 5 for 24. What is Ian Book doing? You're a quarterback, Book. 5 for 24, and he throws 1 pass for 4 yards. No, it was 1 of 4 throwing, and he runs 5 times. So as soon as the pressure comes, he goes to run. What does he think? He's an Ohio State quarterback? Trey Sermon from Oklahoma, 9 for 21, and Tanner McKee, 1 for 7. So I don't mind Penny and Swift as their running backs. God knows they're going to need them. Baltimore now, Justice Hill, 348. Gus Edwards, he's good, 4 for 21. Melvin Gordon, what's he doing here? 6 for 16. Abe Brown, Todd Huntley. So they got pretty good running with Hill, Edwards, and Gordon. That's pretty good running. Here's another quarterback, 4 for 15, is Abe Brown. He goes 3 of 8 throwing and with an interception, and he runs 4 times for 15 yards. Are these quarterbacks a little screwed up? Like, you're there to throw to the bishops and the rooks. You're not there to run. That's not you're the quarterback. You're supposed to throw to the receivers. Unbelievably how stupid these teams are. That's why they don't make the playoffs and don't do anything. Receiving, Philadelphia. I have no idea. T. Cleveland, G. Ward, King, Hazelwood. I have no idea. Trey Sermon from Oklahoma, the running back, 1 for 9. All right. Baltimore. The only one I recognize is Melvin Gordon, 1 for 9. S. Ryan, 4 for 37. Vokalak, 2 for 30. Wallace, 2 for 18. Kohler, I have no idea who these guys are. Duvernay, 1 for 7. Why is he only catching one ball? Well, they have a thing over here at targets. He was only targeted one time. So I don't think these coaches or GMs understand what preseason is. It's not about getting your 4 stringers to say they played. It's about getting your first stringers and second stringers in the groove of playing and getting their groove in, getting the timing down. I know I play golf, and if I don't play golf for a week, my timing sucks. I can't play. I know in football, and I watched Peyton Manning choke enough that when they clinched the division and they all sat out because they didn't want to get hurt, and then they had the bye, and then they go play the Steelers or the Ravens and lose the game because their timing was out. I watched so many Rose Bowls. Why is there always hair on the carpet? And I don't have a pet. I watched so many Rose Bowls and bowl games where a good passing team will finish the end of November, right? Or the first week of December. They have a month off. It takes them a whole first half to complete a pass because their timing's off. What part of this are we not getting? And if you think practice is getting your timing down, you're out of your fucking mind. You need to have fast speed game action. So anyway, Philly's in big trouble, but they got the defense. But now I'm worried. Well, I don't know their defense. Let's see. Where's my Georgia players? I don't think I know them. Anyway, so the Baltimore showed you their offense. With or without Lamar, it's the same. Philly's in big trouble with Hurts. Now they didn't play the Hurts. They didn't play the receivers. What are you waiting for? And Baltimore, it's all excited. They won 24 preseason games in a row, beating Ian Book. Okay, great, guys. And how many Super Bowls have you won? None? That's a shame. I mean, they're playing to win, but they're not. I mean, they don't have their first and second team out there for 3 quarters. So you're really playing to win? Are you really playing to get better, I should say? Getting that timing down. All right, in the last game, the Rams, San Diego versus the Rams. E-stick for San Diego. I don't know who this guy is. 14-21, 109 yards and a touchdown. And I found Max Duggan from TCU. I wondered what happened to him. He's on the fucking San Diego. So you got Herbert, and then Duggan can be his backup. I don't know who E-stick is. He's probably one of these Eastern Washington guys like Herbert and Mariota were. 14-21. I'd rather have Max Duggan. He beat Michigan and got you to the title game. And he won the whole Big 12. So why is he 2-3? My boy from the Rams, Stenson Benson. 17-29, 200 yards. 1 touchdown. It was a beautiful touchdown, too. It was like the Georgia-Ohio State game. The guy kind of is just open, and he just throws it in the window, and the guy's just open, catches it for a touchdown. It was a beautiful, beautiful play. So he's your quarterback. You get rid of Stafford. I would trade Stafford for the one, See, Stafford's valuable because Indy and Houston don't have a quarterback. I'm not sure Carolina does either. So you could trade Stafford for these guys and get Brock Bowers, the best tight end. And then all of a sudden the Rams have Cooper Kupp and they have Bennett and then Bowers from Georgia. So they have a Georgia connection with Cooper Kupp. And if they're smart, they get a few more Georgia guys. Stay away from the Alabama guys, get some LSU receivers. They'd actually have a football team again. Aaron Donald is still playing. Cooper Kupp's ready to go. So the sooner they get Stenson Bennett in the lineup. But I said the same thing with Kellen Moore. Okay, let's get Stafford out of there. Stafford's your problem, right? Let's get him out of there and bring in Kellen Moore. They never would. Then they finally trade him, but Kellen Moore's gone by then. So here you have a chance to go to Stenson. Maybe not the first game, but I'd say after 4 or 5 games, get them the fuck in already. Or you're going to lose them all with Stafford. Running the ball, Earl Dotson, I think he's from Baylor or TCU, 6 for 92. Kelly, that I've heard of, 9 for 54. Isaiah Spiller from Clemson, 5 for 27. Duggan Ras, 4 for 20, running a little too much. For the Rammies, Evans, 8 for 34. This Rivers guy, 6 for 31, had a big half. Royce Freeman, 7 to 26. I don't know what they're doing fucking around with Brett Rippon for 3 of 6. That's 6 more snaps Bennett could have taken. Not too intelligent. Receiving, San Diego, Doss, Davis, Partham, who the fuck knows? They got better ones. And then the Rams, T. Johnson, Alan Trammell from the Tigers, not true. Larry McCutcheon, he played for the Rams in the 70s. Hudson, Robinson, Skarnak, Sims, who knows? So big win for San Diego. Again, winning in the fourth quarter. Let's see how that game ended. So it's 20-14, Royce Freeman. Fourth quarter, Elijah Dotson rushed for a 37-yard touchdown. Tanner Brown kicked a field goal. Elijah Dotson rushed for a 40-yard. So the Rams have their 4th string in. Elijah Dotson looks good. Don't know who he is. I'll have to do some more digging. But again, if I click on his name, I don't. Normally it should come up with his little profile and, oh, by the way, here's his college. And it didn't. Stenson Benson play. Yeah, I just told you. Aren't you listening? I'm going to make you take a lap if you're not listening in class. Stenson Benson, 17 to 29, 191 yards and 1 touchdown. It was a beautiful touchdown. He looked like he was back at Georgia. Yes, Rippon is from Boise. Yeah, he does suck. And he goes 3 of 6. That's 6 passes you're taking away from our boy Stenson Benson. So I didn't really understand that. See, this is the problem. Do you seriously want Brett Rippon in the game? Is this like, okay, well, get him used to it. Do you want him in the game? Do you have any chance of winning if he's in the game? No. He shouldn't be on the team. He shouldn't be in the league. You're wasting time. In other words, here's my take on it. These guys are so stupid. They have no idea what they're doing, the GMs, as we can tell by drafting Richardson and C.J. Stroud where they did and drafting Hooker, Benson, and Hayner and Thompson Robinson where they did. The good quarterbacks they don't draft, and the bad quarterbacks they draft because they went to Alabama and Ohio State. Although no Alabama or Ohio State quarterback has done anything since Ken Stabler and Joe Namath at Alabama. And I can't name one Ohio State quarterback except for Tom Maddie, who played running back for the Colts in the 60s. He's the best Ohio State running back that's played in the pros. But he didn't play as quarterback. We didn't see Cornelius Green play in the 70s. We didn't see Art Schlichter. Well, he bet. Yeah, I think we did see him. We didn't see Herb Kirkstreet. I should call him Herb Crooked Street. He was terrible in college. We didn't see the guy who beat Miami. Where was he? He didn't make the pros. So again, and then everybody poo-pooed, well, they're from Ohio State. Just because they're from Ohio State doesn't mean they're bad. Yeah, it does. Because they don't know how to read a coverage. That pass that C.J. Stroud threw, you would never catch Stenson Benson making that throw, right? You would never, ever see that. He would have read the safety, and he would have thrown it there. That's my point. He doesn't have it. He can't see it. So if you can't see or feel the defense, he's useless. And they don't teach that at Ohio State. He just looks at the receiver and throws it to him. And in college, the guy's open a lot. Not in the pros. The safeties are there reading you, and then as soon as you make that throw, the safety picks it off. And you can't teach that. It's like hitting a baseball, as I told you the other day, Bobby. Either you can hit it or you can't. I remember it's the one thing I can teach golf. I can't teach hitting a baseball. I tried teaching the girls in fast pitch softball. And the only thing I can say is watch the ball, hit the ball. You'll never see the bat hit the ball, but keep your eye on the ball and just swing at it. And then, but it's you can't teach it. You can either feel the ball coming in and you hit it, or you don't. And if you don't have the feel, you can't hit it. And it's a field thing. You can't see the ball. Nolan Ryan's pitching to you. You're not seeing the ball, and you're not seeing the bat hit the ball. You're seeing the ball come in a lot quicker and a lot tinier, but you just swing at it, right? You can't, but you never see it hit. You just either you can hit it or you can't. So I guess Boise is expected to suck again this season, as I see they are 14.5. Well, actually, they're a good running team from what I read this year. Washington's explosive. That's why they're favored. And at home, it could be close depending on what Boise, and then really it's how strong is their defense and how strong is Washington's defense. Washington's an offensive team. They're like UCLA here. So we'll see. Was Herb Street to start at Ohio State? Yeah. That's how he got the TV job, because he was a starter at Ohio State. That's what they're made for, to do analysts. And he's so bad at being an analyst. He's so like a homer for Ohio State. And he does all these Ohio State games. And you're like, why would Herb Kirkstreet be doing Ohio State games? He's going to be prejudiced. That's like having, the Michigan guy doing Michigan games. You know what? Deion, not what's his name? Mr. Heisman Trophy. So they're doing Michigan games. Can't you put a neutral guy on there? I remember Aaron Murray was a solid Georgia quarterback for them too, with Gurley. Right, Todd Gurley is running back. Fortunately, he did zero as a pro. Well, it was more of a running Gurley offense, and Gurley did good at the pros. See, when you have a running back like Gurley, the defense keys on him, so he looks good. Stenson Bennett didn't do that. Stenson Bennett made some good, like to beat Ohio State, he came back. He didn't have running help. He just picked them apart. Now, in defense, so did Michigan, picked apart Ohio State. And Ohio State did not have a very good defense. So that's what you get out of them. But, yeah, Desmond Howard, yeah, why would he do a Michigan game? Who's he going to root for? He picks Michigan. If they played Alabama, he'd pick Michigan like an idiot, or Georgia, or TCU. I'm sure he picked Michigan against TCU. That was one of the easiest bowl picks I had, was TCU over Michigan. I looked at it. I says, it's an even game. I'm taking the points, and you giving me Michigan -7. I get 13 and TCU. Are you kidding me? Let's not forget they beat Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas State, Iowa State. What am I missing here? Baylor, Texas Tech. They beat some good fucking teams. Oklahoma and Texas had just as much talent as Michigan did. And Kansas State had just as good a defense. And what am I missing? And if they did lose, it was not going to be by 13. That was the best bet I had. That and the Kansas-Arkansas over with Jefferson going against Kansas, because I knew none of the Kansas guys were getting ready for the pros, although they have a really good tight end. So I knew that game, and it did. It went way over. So I knew that was going to happen. That was the biggest lock, I think, was TCU with the over in the Kansas game. Is the professor a Michigan fan since you live closer to them? I would be a Michigan fan over a Michigan State fan, but in that game a few years ago when the guy couldn't get the punt off and Michigan State scored, I had Michigan State even, or I won my bet on that play. Put it that way. I am very scientific. So do I like Michigan? If I had a T-shirt, I would have a Michigan over a Michigan State. Mostly because of Bo. But now I don't. I bet 10. I told you I bet TCU. I took Ohio State over Michigan. So I try not to ever bet with my heart. I try to bet the matchups. That's why we win every year, because I don't fuck around going, well, I really like San Diego, so I'm going to bet the Chargers every week. And I do like San Diego, and I like the Niners a lot. But I play them when I should, not just to play them. And that's the problem. Most people play their team when they shouldn't. As Bobby's going to show us week 1 when he's going to take LSU, when the play is Florida State or maybe an under. But he's going to force LSU because he likes LSU, but he's playing him at the wrong time because he's rooting for the game. It's not the play in that game. And as I said, go play Army instead. What are you fucking around with that? So that's the difference. How far am I from Ann Arbor and East Lansing? I'm about a half hour from Ann Arbor and about an hour, maybe 45 minutes, an hour to East Lansing. So I'm here, Ann Arbor's here, and East Lansing's here. It's a little bit, another 30, 40 miles. Done it. The professor already have a Michigan shirt you wear to class here. Yeah, no, I do. It's the national championship one from 1997 because they haven't won shit since then. Although they're starting to win Big Ten titles, so I'm starting to see Big Ten champs at the swim club. But the one I laugh at the most is when I'm at poker or at the swim and somebody has a Detroit Lion jersey or sweatshirt on, and I immediately go into laughter, and I immediately go to the guy, did you lose a bet? Is that why? Did you have to wear that? Because nobody by choice would wear a Lions jersey. I mean, that's the joke, is they haven't won anything since 1957. What is it about the Lions? They're Detroit. Who gives a fuck? They're Ford Motor Company. We hate Ford Motor Company. I hate Ford Motor Company with a passion. So I don't, even though I worked there, I hated working. Boy, are they unorganized. I would never buy stock in them. They're a terrible company. LSU will beat them, Professor. Don't worry. Yeah, but you got to lay points. You got to lay 2.5. My point is Florida State's got a defense and a quarterback and a good coach. So you're really going up against a team that could easily beat you. As in New Mexico State and Mass, I got a team that can't beat me. There's no way UMass is winning that game. And I'm laying 1.5. See, that's what you should be on, is the art of war, strength against weakness. You're going strength against strength in that game. There's no weakness that you're betting against. I got New Mexico State and UMass. I'm betting against this terrible defense with a pretty good quarterback. So my strength, my offense goes against their weakness, their defense. And they don't have an offense to really bother me. So I got strength versus weakness all over in that game. And I'm going to lay 1.5. Are you fucking kidding me? See, that's where I see the line is wrong, and I'm going to take advantage of it. Line should be 14. It's 7.5. It was 9, and it went down. So people are stupid enough to bet on UMass. It's not even in UMass. It's in New Mexico. In the mountains, in the hot air, big home field advantage, just like Utah, Florida. So I don't know why. That's where these guys play the algorithms or the whatever you call it. That's where these idiots play that. They play the number. They don't even they can't. I'm naming you the quarterback in New Mexico State's Pavia, and he was very explosive the last 6 games. And they're putting up 30, 40 points a game. But the bettors who are on UMass are just looking at the numbers. It's sort of like how they do gold now. They see the dollar go up, gold goes down. And when the dollar goes down, gold's supposed to go up. One thing has nothing to do with the other. The dollar going up is against other inflated currencies. It has nothing to do with gold. Somehow they've stumbled onto this. Well, if the dollar goes up, then we're going to bet gold going down. Why would gold go down? You've got heavy inflation. The Titanic's deep in the water now, but you think, so it's like somebody threw a bucket of water out, so, we're going to survive. No, you're not going to survive. The boat's going down. So, anyway, that's what you have. So it's just fucking ridiculous. But, Bobby, what you've got is strength against strength. You got 2 good quarterbacks. You got 2 good defenses. You got 2 good coaches. Where's your weakness? What are you betting against? You're betting strength against strength. The play is to tease the dog in this game. Or because you like LSU, go under in the game, because with 2 good defenses, there's not going to be a lot of points. Bobby Ball will get in the car and ride to Orlando if LSU is at risk of losing that. Why don't you just go to Orlando and watch the game? You're fucking 5 minutes away in Tampa. You like Army a lot too, week 1, right? Yeah, I like Army in most weeks because of the coach. The only time I don't is when, like, Hartman lit up Army last year and McCall lit up Army last year. So against these really good passing teams, I don't fuck with Army. That's not the time to play Army. But they're playing Lou Monroe, who we could get 20 guys in this class and beat UL Monroe. Bob, you'd have to play quarterback. I'll play receiver. But they suck, right? So Army, and they've gone to a new offense. They're going to throw it a little bit more, but I'm sure they'll still run it. Lou Monroe doesn't have anything. And it's Army. I mean, they've got good players and a good coach. So I'm expecting them to still be good because it's basically a running system. They're going to run it down Lou Monroe's throat. Lou Monroe could get some points, but I think Army should win the game, and I'm laying 1 again. I believe in is UL Monroe yeah, I know. They're not a threat. You can play quarterback. I'm going to play receiver. We'll play pitch and catch the whole game. So, no, UL Monroe has nothing. Here's their stat. UL Monroe. So when you analyze UL Monroe, they're a weak team. They're a W. No defense, no offense, new quarterback. Army's a B team. They score a lot, a very good defense, and a returning quarterback, and a new offensive coordinator who wants to throw the ball more. So last year, Louisiana Monroe was a W. They didn't score a whole lot, and they had no defense. So I'm looking for Army to light it up, but Army's got a good defense. Now, to beat Army, you need Hartman or you need Van Dyke or you need one of these good throwing offenses because Army can't match up, but that's not what Lou Monroe has. So Lou Monroe should lose by 20 in the game. I mean, Army, especially this new offense, they're going to want to throw it more to get comfortable with this offense. New offensive coordinator looks really good. I did a check on him. Don't worry about it. I got us covered. You're going to be quarterback. You will be running back. Luke and Greg John receivers, and Kenzie can be our kicker. She can just take her clothes off and distract everybody, like in the Replacement movie. I got to look at her husband yesterday, and I'm like, really? This is your choice? Oh my God, what a loser that guy looked like! Oh my God. Kenzie, you're a hot girl. Believe me, you can do better. You could have the professor if you weren't so stupid and wanted me to pay all this money without knowing who you are. Right? That's scam number one. Give me money and I'll come see you. Okay, well, who are you? Well, trust me. Yeah, sure, I'm going to trust you. I don't know why she comes on. Is that part of the scam that I'll pretend I'm Kenzie. I'll name it Kenzie. But if you look at her little circle, it's a tree. It's not her. So, I mean, it's just really, I follow her on Twitter and God knows on Instagram if it's her or, the Russian guys or the Chinese guys. So that's really, you have no idea who you're talking to. Where the girls that I know, Jenna and Daria, I have met. I see them. I'm on WhatsApp with them. They send me pictures. So I know it's them. I've seen them on Skype. And obviously I've met Jenna on 5 vacations. Pretty sure that's her. She's feeling a little better today. Her blood pressure's still bothering her. I said, stay away from the fucking sugars. She likes her liquor too much, but I don't blame her. In the middle of a war that now we know Russia's going to win. They can't lose, but they shouldn't hurt her because Russia's just going to take over. Just be another country running the Ukraine. Okay, so it shouldn't be a real change of pace. Zelensky's is as crooked as Biden, so no big deal. Anyway, so yeah, Kenzie, again, I say I'm not on Telegram because she's the only one I'd be on Telegram for. So I don't need that whole thing. If you're real, just go on WhatsApp, but then you'd have to give me your number. Just email me. Then she'd have to, make up a fucking email and email me. I mean, it's just crazy. Anyway, I don't know if she drinks vodka. I know she drinks champagne and beer. Possibly, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure they all drink vodka. The reason they do is it's cheap there and they can't afford anything. Now, Daria's making out like a bandit because the ruble is now 100. It was 60, so we agreed on an amount at 60. Well, now it's 100. She gets a lot more money. So if I gave her $100, she would get 6,500 rubles. Now she gets 10,000 rubles with the same 100. But if the prices haven't gone up, right, just the FX, the US to the ruble has gone up. But if the things that she's buying, like her rent's 220 US, we figured. Well, it's still 220. It's not even 220. 220 was at, let's say, 60. So that would be 1,200 ruble a month. When I'm giving her 220 at 100 is now 2,200. She only owes 1,200. She gets 1,000 ruble, whatever that buys. But if prices didn't go up, she's benefiting. And I don't care. I'll pay rent. Here it is. So that's what I've been doing. So she's benefiting that. And then I'll benefit when she starts buying gold and from Putin when he starts selling it and wants the thing. Now, I don't know. My friend Chelsea sent me from Swim. She sent me this TikTok. Some guy, and I'm like, all right, this guy is not even as good as Peter Schiff. Like, I tell you, I don't even trust Peter Schiff. Well, this guy, I don't know who he is. I can't trust him. He said, "Oh, it'll be the BRICS currency will come out in November, and one BRICS dollar will buy 50 US dollars." I don't know. Is it really coming out in November? Is it really going to be 50 to 1? Where are you getting that from? So I'm trying to research it a little bit more, but I'm not taking some guy's word for it that it's coming out in November or 50, unless it's Alligator or EGOT or Mark McGuire. So that's really where I'm at with it. I don't believe anything unless it comes out of their mouths or I read it somewhere that's reputable. Otherwise, I don't believe it. So is it really coming out in November? I don't know where he got the date from. I don't know where he got the 50 to 1 from. I doubt he just pulled it out of the air. So there's probably some truth to it, but we know it's coming. Then I had some thoughts about it in the pool. I says, so how does it affect, how do I prepare you guys for it and myself? We will have gold and silver, but our prices are going to go up. So when we go to Meijer's or Costco for food, it depends where the food's coming from. So if it's U.S. to U.S., we won't feel it. Because our dollars, my rent's $1,400, it'll still be $1,400. It'll be dollars to dollars. It's only on the products coming from Russia, which can't be any. Will our oil go up? I don't know. Will Raisin Bran go up? I don't know. Where's it coming? So it's the stuff coming from China. If they're using BRICS, that's going to go way up in price because now it's going to be, we need $50 to the one brick. So if the brick's $100, we need like $5,000, I think, or 500, let's say. No, 50 to 1. So 10's 500, 100's is 100's 5,000. So we're going to need $5,000 to buy a computer. Well, they're not going to sell. So I'm not really sure about that 50, and it'll be on products from China. So you still want Microsoft stock? Do you still want Tesla stock? I don't think so. So that's going to be a problem even for us gold people because we need that price of gold to balance out whatever so if that's what's going to happen, then our gold goes up 50 times, as Luke said yesterday. Then we kind of break even on the gold, even though it's 50,000 an ounce. It's 50 times, more 50 times to buy things. Now, not everything, but things coming from BRICS. But then BRICS will be fucked, as we know from Say's Law and Adam Smith. We can't, if the market's here and they can't price it here and sell it. So China needs to sell computers, cell phones, everything they make. But if they're up here and our market, I'm going to pay $300 for a new laptop, not $10,000. You can't sell it for $10,000. Even though the currency's fucked, the market is here. So they're going to have to figure out a way to sell that computer, the Microsoft computer laptop that sells for $300-400 now for $300-400. You can't just start selling it for $1,200. You're not going to have any buyers. So again, it comes back to the free market will save us, as always. You can price it there, but nobody's going to buy. Nobody's going to buy a $1,200 laptop when we can get it for $300. So maybe we buy it early. That's when you start having the panic set in and the hyperinflation. Oh, I better buy the laptop before the price goes up, the BRICS price, or I better buy a TV or whatever I'm going to buy from China. I better buy it now at this price because once it goes to that 50 to 1, if that's reality, I don't know. I don't want to wait for that. Plus, I'm not going to be able to afford it anyway. Where the food comes from, it doesn't come from China. Now, apparently it's not coming from Russia either. We do get some from the Ukraine, but most of that goes to the Middle East. I think we get ours from here. So we'll have to knock on Bill Gates' door, but the dollar won't change. We'll still be dollar to dollar, so that really won't have an effect on us. So I'm just thinking out loud on that. Anyway, I don't know if she drinks vodka, Bobby, or not, but I know she drinks. We've had champagne, and she drinks beer, and I don't. I drink my Diet Coke, although now it'll just be water when we're on vacation. Jen is in the Ukraine, but which country is Daria? And Daria is in St. Petersburg, Russia. She lives there, and we're trying to meet, but you cannot get a flight from here to Russia. They don't have any. The only chance I have is to meet her in Turkey because she can't fly to Amsterdam or Poland or anywhere that I can go to except Turkey. Turkey's the common denominator. But even if I'm in Turkey, like her mom just visited her, and her mom went from America to Turkey to Russia. So you can go Turkey to Russia, but her mom is a Russian citizen living in the U.S., so she has the passport. I need a Russian visa to go into Russia, which I can't get because we're at war. So they're not going to give me a Russian visa. So I can't go Turkey to St. Pete to be with her. At best, what we can do is go to Turkey, and she can go to Turkey, and we can meet in Turkey. And that's what I've suggested. So we'll probably do that in a few months. Because I got a lot of work in August, September for the budget. Even though I can work, now I could do this in Vegas, but I don't think I want to go to Turkey and meet her and be working 40 hours a week. So it'll probably be September. Vegas I want to go to, I think. I don't know. I really wanted to go for a month, but I called up the Tuscany. They're like $150. It used to be a $40, $50 room. And then the resort fee is ridiculous. So, but the problem is the weekends, right? So if I go to Vegas, it's Sunday through Thursday at the nice low rate. But the working the way I do, I'd have to be there. I'd have to leave Friday, but that's the whole point of going to Vegas is I got the weekends free. So I really want to be there for the weekend. So I don't know what I'm going to do because I still got to pay rent here. But it would be nice to take a couple of weeks or 3 weeks and live in Vegas and work there. And I'd be working like 5 a.m. to 1 and then having the rest of the day and night free and putting my 40 hours in that way. So I'm trying to think, but it's not cheap. I'm looking maybe for an apartment, but even that. So I got to figure that out. But when it comes down to it, I'd rather buy 4 ounces of gold than live in Vegas in an apartment for $2 or $3 grand. Right. So I keep making these decisions. No, I got to buy gold. I can play poker. No, I'd rather buy gold. I'd rather buy silver. I'd rather take the 300 and buy silver than go play poker. Maybe I win a couple hundred, but if I lose 300, that's 10 ounces of silver I could have bought. And I'd rather at this point be buying the silver and gold. So it's sort of like a diet, right? I could have the chocolate cake, but then I gotta, fast and I gotta run and I gotta swim. So I just don't have it. Like this yesterday, I'm at the Speedway and I could have got the Slurpee or the Diet Coke, but I stay away from diet now because of the aspartame. So I could have got a regular, Slurpee of Coke and put some Diet Coke or put some Coke Slurpee on the top and gotten that. And I said, no, I don't want my feet to be in problems. So I got this instead, which I never get there, but I'm adapting. So I got that instead of the Slurpee. And of course, the water's $2 was 2 something, and the Slurpee's like $1.59. So I love that the water, probably tap water, is more expensive than the pop. But I know what's going to happen if I have the pop, my feet, and then I'll be limping around, and I don't want to go through that. Anyway. So yeah, that's those are the girls. And then I got Irina in Romania who has the baby, and the baby, she switches laundry detergents and the baby starts having a rash because she's allergic to the laundry detergent. I think it's one of those shots that they gave the baby because I got it when I got the vaccine. all of a sudden my skin kept breaking out, and they said switch laundry detergents. And then I did some long fasts, as you remember, and then it went away, and I don't have those itches or rashes anymore. It's from the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, trying to kill us. And I switched laundry detergent too. So I told her, I said, well, I can't say fast, have the kid fast, but I said, just that happened to me, switch detergents, and then put that LO cream on the baby. And she says, yeah, he's starting to get better. She says, it's tough because you don't know what to do. And I says, all you can do with 3-4 month old is just, they can't tell you what's wrong. So you got to listen to the cries. There'll be I'm hungry. I just pooped. I want a hug, and I'm in pain. And there's 4 different cries, and you'll learn the cries. And depending on which one it is how you're going to react to it. All right. So back to football. This is what I like about the class. We can go off on different areas. So the biggest, Kansas City, New Orleans is just kicked off. So this will be interesting. Will Mahomes play? Does he need to play? Okay, Mahomes and Burrow, maybe they don't need to. Rodgers, I would certainly want Rodgers to play something. Again, Russell Wilson played. Come on. And then we got San Francisco and Oakland at 4:00. I would think Brock Purdy's going to play. They're going to show Trey Lance off in hopes of trading him, right? But he sucks apparently. And Oakland's got their guy Garoppolo, who we've seen he sucked for years. He sucked at New England. He got traded. He sucked and sucked and sucked. And now he's a starting quarterback from Oakland. What are you expecting? So let me understand this. You had Derek Carr, who was really good. You get rid of him, and you bring in Garoppolo, and you think now you're a playoff team? Really? Wow. So first you question the owner for making this coach their coach from New England, who sucked and fucked over Houston. So you got an unreliable coach who can't coach. You got a terrible quarterback. You've got Devontae Adams, who wants to play with Carr because they both played at Fresno State. You got no defense. And you have the best running back in the league. If you'll play him, who knows? So we'll see tonight. And it ain't the Alabama guy. It's the guy out of UTSA, Sincere McCormick. Keep your eye on him. He is a stud, and he's got moves. Just like the kid on Marshall Ali is fucking unbelievable. Those guys are running backs, not like this bullshit. Anyway, so we see Bryce Young, average at best. Okay, what are we expecting? But he's on Carolina. They don't have an offense. They got rid of their best receiver. Look for him to have 10, 15 interceptions. Shouldn't he be playing this year? Then you've got C.J. Stroud, who can't read a safety. Ain't going to get any better. Then you got Richardson with another bad interception, who's not very good anyway. Then you've got Thompson Robinson, who lights it up at Cleveland. We'll see Hainer today on New Orleans. And we saw Stenson Benson looked really good for the Rams. We're curious about Duggan from TCU, who's on San Diego, I think. No, yeah, San Diego and the Rams. He's on San Diego. And the Rams with Benson. So the quarterbacks, we can see the better ones are what we said, and the worst ones are what got drafted higher. Because, again, these GMs are fucking clueless. It's almost like they're playing woke. They're playing the athletic quarterback over the pocket quarterback. If we notice it, Stroud runs a little bit. Richardson, that's all he can do is run. They signed Lamar to a big contract. So it's like the woke guys with Budweiser, and we saw what happened with them. But the real quarterbacks, Stenson Benson, Hainer, Hooker, Thompson Robinson, they're lighting it up, but we couldn't draft them because they're not athletic running quarterbacks. So this is why there's so many coaches that get fired, because they're all fucking clueless, and the GMs. The GMs have no idea what they're doing, except maybe in Green Bay. The Jets seem to get better. They're getting a lot of talent. Buffalo doesn't know what they took Josh Allen. He's not a good quarterback. I know you guys will bitch at me. It's okay. I know what I saw at Wyoming. I know when Air Force sacked him 7 times. I know what I watched. If you blitz Trevor Lawrence and you blitz Tua Tagovailoa and you blitz half these guys, except for Rodgers, Mahomes, Joe Burrow. Good luck blitzing those guys. They'll eat you alive. Brady, Rodgers. You blitz them and you're fucked. You blitz Fields and you blitz C.J. Stroud and you blitz all these running quarterbacks. They can't do anything. They're going to get, because all they want to do is run. They're going to get buried. So let's really see how good Fields is. Jordan Love, I think the other quarterback's much better than Jordan Love, which was, I'll write this up after. So Green Bay's got Sean Clifford from Penn State. I'm sorry, is a lot better than Jordan Love. I don't know where Jordan Love, people think he's good. He had one good year at Utah State his junior year. His senior year, he sucked. I don't think he had as much touchdowns as interceptions. At what point so you're just going to ignore his senior year and say, well, that's that? You're just going to ignore it? Well, as you start losing Green Bay, you'll go to Sean Clifford, and then it's sort of like Zappy. You're like, why aren't you playing Zappy? And you go back to Mac Jones. Okay, we'll keep betting the under because this guy can't hit the broadside of a barn. At what point do you think he's good? And then it comes in, is it a money issue? Well, we bought him in the first round and we paid him $10 million, so we got to play him. Why? Why? Because you made a mistake and paid some guy who can't play, and you got a guy who can play over here, but you're not paying him. Why don't you maybe get rid of the Mac Jones, and now you got Zappy real cheap, which is what you want, and go from there. It's becoming a game of since the salary cap and the low amount you have to pay your draft choices, it's almost become, we'll take the guy for the first 5 years and move him on unless he's Joe Montana. And that's about, like, why are they signing Lamar Jackson to another contract? You basically fucked your team because you're paying this guy so much money that you can't pay the other positions, and you're not going to win with them. If you're going to win with them, you would have won with them the first couple of years. And now he's getting hurt every year. And believe me, I will bet anybody who wants to bet, let's go $1,000 he doesn't complete the year. He'll find an injury, he pulled a hamstring, a foot, sprained his ankle, my shoulder hurt. He'll play 8 to 10 games. He will never play the whole year because now he's got his out. I'm hurt. And he's done it the last, 2 or 3 years, and he's going to pull a Julio Jones. I got my money. My hamstring hurts. Oh, wait, we're in the playoffs with Brady. My hamstring feels a little bit better. I can play this week. That's what you got with them. What are you fucking wasting your time with these guys for? I'd rather have this Sean Clifford than Lamar Jackson. For sure, Stenson Benson. For sure, Thompson Robinson. You want a running type of quarterback, go to Thompson Robinson. What the fuck are you doing? So I don't know what Baltimore's thinking. Again, is it a woke thing? Well, he can run, and I don't know. He fits the profile. Is that what you're looking at? I don't know. But he's not a pocket passer like Brady or Rodgers, Mahomes. Even Russell Wilson, I would trade for Russell Wilson in a heartbeat. Watch Russell Wilson this year with Sean Payton. I mean, it's going to be, they're going to be a very good team. That's what I think. it all goes down to the coach. If the coach can't coach, how are you supposed to win? And that's been a lot of these teams' problems is the bad coaching. A little spice in the general chow today. So that's why I like the coach. I like Denver because of Sean Payton, because we saw what happened with Hackett last year. They sucked. We see what happens with the Lions every year. They suck. All right. So let's go to college. So where were we? We got to the Miami against Miami. So in review, Notre Dame should handle Navy. New Mexico State down to 7.5. I liked it at 9. Ohio and San Diego State should be an under. Hawaii, Vandy should kill them. USC, San Jose State should be over. UCF, Kent State. We got Plumlee, a running quarterback. I don't know. I'm not sure what Kent State's going on. Their quarterback went to UCLA, but he might not start. And then you got a new coach. Big question mark with Kent State. But don't sell these MAC teams down. And I don't know if UCF's a team that can cover 35. Florida, Utah. We like Utah, revenge game. I'm not a Graham Mertz fan. I'm not worried he's going to light it up. I mean, where are you getting that from? So and again, he was at Wisconsin. What does that tell you? You know, Russell Wilson was at NC State, went to Wisconsin, and he lit up a team that scores 20 points a game. Okay, Mertz didn't do that at Wisconsin. They sucked last year. And now you got him at Florida, where all their guys are gone, and a new coach. I didn't mind the coach at Louisiana Lafayette with Levi Lewis as the quarterback, and they won a lot of games. But how much was Levi Lewis? He was a really good quarterback, and how much was the coach? And it was a running quarterback. Well, he was like a Jefferson at Arkansas. He could run and pass. He was a good quarterback, but Mertz not a running quarterback, so I don't know. Revenge, I like Utah. It's a very strong team. Florida, I'm not. You know, if they'd have beaten Georgia last year, I'd be scared of them, but they got their asses handed to them. Nebraska Mini, I like the under. Mini, strong defense. Rick Rule, coaching Nebraska now. He wrestles, he does gold, and now he's the coach. Nebraska's got no offense. They got no defense, but Mini's got no offense and a really good defense. This should be low scoring. Miami, I like Miami here. Van Dyke, new air raid offense, should be throwing it a ton, goes to his strength. So we like Miami of Florida. Miami's got a good defense. Miami of Ohio, but they ain't seen Van Dyke, and then they don't have an offense. So Miami puts up, we only got to win by 11. They put up 30 points. Miami of Ohio ain't coming back. Now, I know Miami of Florida doesn't have a great defense. They need Jimmy Johnson back. I don't know. Why doesn't Jimmy Johnson go back to Miami of Florida? I don't get that. You're a good coach, and then you go to broadcasting. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then, like, why aren't you coaching? You're a coach. That's what you do. If you're a good coach, you should be coaching. You shouldn't be broadcasting. I mean, I never thought I understood why John Madden did it. I mean, I like John Madden. He was adorable as a commentator, but he was a damn good coach. What's with this 10-year shit? Madden and Bill Walsh, 10 years. I don't know if Parcells was 10 years, but then he kept coming back. Lombardi was 8 years, 9 years with the Packers, and then he got out of it, and then he had to go to Washington because he really wanted to be the owner of the Packers, but it was a public company, so he couldn't own the Packers. That's why he went to Washington, because he was part owner. So hopefully the family is benefiting from him being the part owner, even though he died. See, if you would have fasted, if he'd have done the 75-hour fast, Lombardi would still be alive today, because he would have gotten rid of his cancer He'd have cleaned himself up. And that's why I keep yelling at you, Bobby, to go more than 24 hours. Let the guys clean you up. They just start working. They just wake up and you're putting them back to bed, right? After 18 hours, photography comes in. And then after 6 hours, as they're just starting to get warmed up, you're putting them back to sleep. I'm going to start eating. And I say, give it another day. Let them go from 18 to 48. And then you got the guys working hard for you. That's the point of the whole fast. All right. I showed you yesterday. So Central Michigan, Michigan State, who knows what we got. I thought Thorne was the quarterback at Michigan State. He's at Auburn. Who knew? It's a late one because it wasn't in the magazine. It's got him at Michigan State. Then I heard some guy on the radio say, well, Thorne's at Auburn. And he's a good quarterback, but now who does Michigan State have? So they have no defense, but now they got no offense. I don't see how they cover 14 and a half. Central's got a good offensive coach. So they both have new quarterbacks. I don't know. This is a wait and see type of thing. Stanford and Hawaii, we got to see how Hawaii does against Vanderbilt. If they put up 40 points on Vanderbilt, then we'll take them as a home dog to Stanford. Stanford sucks, and I don't know what they're thinking. Now the whole league left them. So Stanford, Cal, Oregon State, and Washington State. So they make the Pac-4. They'll just play each other 3 times. Then they can maybe get into the playoff. One of them, the winner of their 4-team conference. We got Army, Lou Monroe. We talked about Army 7.5. You got to go Army, beat Navy all day. Lou Monroe's a W, and Army's a B anyway. The only teams they lose to is McCall from Coastal Carolina, Hartman from Wake Forest. They lose to the big passing stud. Lou Monroe does not have that. So what you look for when you look at this, when you look at like last year's results and this year's schedule, you see the W's and the L's, and you look at the L's and you go, what type of team was that? Was it a good pass? Like Coastal Carolina, they have McCall. It's a great offensive team. So Army lost to a good passer, and they got killed by Wake Forest. Oh, they got Hartman. So then you're starting to put otherwise they would win. They beat Navy, but then in the games where these really superstar quarterbacks played them, they couldn't handle it. So then you look at Lou Monroe, who doesn't have one. You go, oh, okay, Army should win because they'll ball control you. The problem is when they're down 21-0 to Hartman, what are you going to do? Run 4 plays into the line and eat up all the clock? So they have to start passing, which leads to turnovers and everything. But if they can get the lead on you, like they did against Oklahoma and Michigan when they played those guys to overtime, they were able to keep running. And then if they can keep running, they got you. All right. If we're in the third quarter and it's 21-all, Army's going to win the game or be close. The blowout happened when Wake gets 21-0, and then Army's can't run it anymore because it eats up too much time. So that's how Army loses. But they don't have that here. Lou Monroe is a W. They don't score, and their defense sucks. So this is all Army kill them. We got Tennessee, Virginia. Tennessee minus 28. We love the coach. Hype ball, very explosive coach, just like the TCU coach. People who are sleeping on TCU are out of their fucking minds this year. Their quarterback's back, and Sonny Dykes is a hell of an offensive coach, as you saw last year. Except for the Georgia game, they gave Michigan, they put up 50 on Michigan. Ohio State wishes they put up 50 on Michigan. So that shows you how much stronger TCU is than Ohio State. And he's got his starting quarterback back. Duggan was not the starter. He got beaten out last year. So Duggan lucked into the injury. So hopefully the guy doesn't get injured. And TCU's got a better team they had last year. Oh, they won't make the playoff. They lost their quarterback. No, they didn't. These are idiots that don't know what they're talking about. They didn't lose their quarterback. He's injured and he's back and he's starting. So they got their quarterback. So with the Josh Heupel team, you know they're going to be explosive. Hooker, how good's Hooker? We don't know, but we know Milton from Michigan. He sucked at Michigan, but when he came in, he looked pretty good there. Now, he didn't beat Alabama, so we got to see how good Milton is. But I think Virginia's terrible. They lost their quarterback, went to another college. Oh, yeah, she finally, no, Kenzie does not send pictures because it's not really her. I wish it was really her. But I don't see I don't see why she wouldn't send pictures. And I don't see why she wouldn't. All I'm asking for is to do what I'm doing. Get on Skype for all of 30 seconds, say, hi, professor, it's me, Kenzie. See, it's really me. And then we'd meet up, but she won't do that. Well, she's got a manager and she's got this and she's got that. And I'm like, what are you, fucking Russian? Are you trapped by the FSB or the KGB? Or the Russian mafia has you? I mean, what do you mean you can't do that? I mean, that's how I met the girls in Europe, was all Skype and everything else. And we would chat back and forth. I'd see them, they'd see me. Every girl I saw was them. When I went there and met them, there was all who I expected. They knew me, like, but in America, they can't. The girls can't do that. So that's why I think it's shady. I think they should be. She should at least send pictures. But that's the problem. The American women just want the money. They don't give a fuck. The Europeans, they do want the love and happiness that you give them. As Daria said, and Jenna, that the Russian men do not treat us the way you treat us. We're used to the way the Russian men treat us. It's like shit. I actually care about them, and they don't even understand because they don't get that from their guys. So anyway, but the American women are just about money, so they're just clueless. So anyway, so that's Kenzie. Where is Duggan, by the way? Duggan is on San Diego. He only played a little bit, but he'd be a good replacement. Did he get drafted to NFL, or is he out somewhere hanging out with Dad Hacksaw? No, he got Duggan was a free agent and went to San Diego. He didn't get drafted. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that Stenson Benson got drafted 5th or 6th round, but the GMs blew that. Well, he doesn't run. He's not like Lamar where he runs around. I mean, look at Mahomes didn't really go. They've missed the quarterbacks they take with the first 10 picks are such stupid picks. It's unbelievable how stupid these GMs are because they clearly don't get an NFL quarterback what to even look for. You draft Trevor Lawrence with the first pick. You take Tagliabue with the 3rd pick. Burrow made sense as the first pick. Baker Mayfield and Josh Rosen and Josh Allen. Are you kidding me? What a terrible draft that was. But the better quarterbacks came later. Like I said, next year, look out. You got 10 first-rounders that probably won't go in the first round. They'll take Caleb Williams out of USC instead of Hartman and Van Dyke and Rising. Right? Those are the 3, but they'll take Williams because he'll put up big numbers, but it's the Oklahoma system, and you can't name me a good Oklahoma quarterback in the NFL, right? Kyler Murray, Baker, and then you got Hurts. I mean, you don't have any. Hurts couldn't make it at Alabama. Now he goes to Oklahoma. So he goes to the 2 worst schools to be a quarterback. Hacksaw Jim Duggett has the dad. Well, yeah, his dad's probably Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I would imagine that. By the way, I watched that Hogan interview about Flair asking for beer when coming out of the coma. Where's Hartman? He's at Notre Dame. He was at Wake Forest. He transferred to Notre Dame. That's why I'm really high on Notre Dame this year. But they got such a hard schedule. Hopefully he makes it through. I'm S. Peyton Manning nephew. Any good? Oh, is Peyton Manning nephew Arch Manning, Texas? He'll probably be the same pussy that Peyton was. I never thought Peyton was any good. I'd rather have Brady over Peyton. I don't know. He's not starting at Texas, I don't believe. I think Texas is going to start Ewers, who was their starter last year. So we'll see. In the Big 12, it's easy. If you notice, he didn't go to Tennessee or go to the Southeast Conference. Couldn't handle Alabama or Georgia or Kentucky. So he goes there, and it's just Kansas State he's got to worry about. Well, that's why Daniel Jones got drafted. Daniel Jones got drafted by the Giants because he went to a Peyton Manning camp. And apparently Peyton Manning's now the general manager of half these teams. He says he went to my camp. He's really good. The Giants drafted him. He sucks, but they won't get rid of him. I prefer the Giants. Let's see, who was their number 2? New Orleans 7, KC nothing. So the Giants' second quarterback is better than him. Let's take a look. Yeah, Danny DeVito is much better than Jones. Right? He was 15 to 24 for 155 yards, 1 touch, 1 interception. He got sacked 5 times. They don't have an offensive line. I would be more comfortable with Danny DeVito than I would be that. And again, the Lions with Adrian Martinez from Nebraska, like, what are you doing? But I'd rather have DeVito out there than Jones. But that's what's happening is Manning's saying, oh, no, he went to my camp. He looked really good. You should take him. So you're taking guys because they went to his camp. I mean, it's just ridiculous. He doesn't know what he's doing, Peyton Manning. Yeah, the Big 12. Well, TCU's got a pretty good defense in Kansas State. You would think Oklahoma would because they got the defensive coordinator from Clemson. But here's the case. Where you take a guy from Clemson, the defensive coordinator, you make him a head coach. Is he a head coach? Is he a good defensive coordinator? You keep saying New England's defensive coordinators, and they suck as head coaches because Belichick's the defensive coordinator. It's not that hard to figure out. Bill Belichick's the defensive coordinator in New England. You got to be out of your fucking mind if you don't understand that. He did it for the Giants. He did it wherever Parcells was. He was the defensive coordinator. Believe me, he's the defensive coordinator here. So it's funny, though, without Tom Brady, he barely can make the playoff. They're predicted to be last place in the thing because he won't start Zappe. He's going to end up in last place. And I hope he gets fired because he's taking credit that he shouldn't. And I'm getting really pissed off as all these, he's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest of all time. LeBron and Bill Belichick's the greatest coach of all time. Did you watch Lombardi? Did you watch Bill Walsh? Did you watch Bill Parcells? And you have the nerve to say that Belichick's better than any of those? You're out of your fucking mind. Jesus Christ. Parcells won with Phil Simms as quarterback. He was smart enough to use Lawrence Taylor as his ace in the hole. Bill Walsh was just genius, and Lombardi was the genius. So there's no way Belichick's better than those guys. But because he won 4 or 5 Super Bowls, yeah, but he lost 2 or 3. Lombardi never lost, neither did Walsh. Parcells, I don't think, lost a Super Bowl. He lost to the Niners. But that's what you have is you have all this bullshit. This guy's the best ever. This guy's the best ever. Where did I read that? I was looking at something yesterday. I don't know if it was which sport it was. And this guy's the best ever. Oh, like, okay. First of all, you're clueless. You have good coaches. You could say he's a top coach. Lombardi, Walsh, Parcells, Belichick, a top coach. The best ever? No. You can't say Brady's the best ever. See, they get it confused. But Bill Russell was never the best ever. He won 11 rings, but he wasn't the best ever. But since Jordan won 6 rings, he's the best ever, even though he couldn't beat Larry Bird or Magic or Isaiah. So after losing to Boston for all those years, then he started losing to the Pistons. Oh, if he's the best ever, he wouldn't have lost any of them. That's Magic Johnson. He beat Bird twice, and he beat Isaiah once. So Magic's the best ever if you really want to go that route. Bird was great. Magic was better because he beat him, and Isaiah choked against Bird that one time. I always wonder why the Pistons had a timeout, could have moved the ball to front court, and with 2 seconds left, why did Isaiah throw it under the basket to Lambert? Why was Lambert even under the basket? Why wasn't he at the other basket? Then if he throws the ball to the other basket, I would have just thrown it into the groin of the players at the other free throw line. There's 2 seconds left by the time that hits somebody and it's going to ricochet off of them. The 2 seconds is up. Nobody's going to make a miracle 90-footer. If they make it, they make it. But you throw it under your own basket, and there's Bird who read the play. He wasn't even guarding Lambert. I watched the video on it the other day. He's guarding like Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars at the foul line, and Bill Lambert's down at the bottom, and Bird sees Isaiah looking at Lambert. So he reads the play, and then he runs to Lambert, kind of out of scope. Isaiah's all excited, and Isaiah throws it right to him. Why was Lambert under the basket? And then why didn't he just throw it to the other side? And Daly was trying to call timeout and advance the ball up to the front court where it would have been over. But Isaiah hurried the ref and panicked. Give me the ball. And the ref, instead of calling the timeout for Chuck Daly, didn't. But anyway, that's what happened. So, again, it comes out to these stupid questions, all this woke shit. Oh, who's the best ever? Who the fuck knows? Will Chamberlain? Who knows? Kareem beat Will, so it's Kareem. I mean, it doesn't matter. These are stupid questions. Yeah, it's like saying, it's almost like saying what's better, the dollar or gold. Well, that's an easy one, but it's just amazing what they go with. The Big 12. Well, we'll see about Oklahoma's defense. TCU's got a good one. Kansas State's got a good one. So we'll see what Baylor does. We know Texas Tech is weak, but Baylor could have a good defense too. Texas and Kansas State had the best. Oklahoma should with their defensive coordinator, with their courts being a good defensive coordinator. We'll see. But yes, I agree with you, Bobby. Normally there's more passing. Danny DeVito, he like 4'5". Is he the quarterback? Yeah, he's from Syracuse. He went to Syracuse, then he went to Illinois last year. It got to be great if he quarterback at that height and he has his age. Yeah, 60-year-old Danny DeVito or whatever. Well, whatever DeVito's name is. He was a quarterback at Syracuse and went to Illinois, and they did really good the last few years. He's a good quarterback. He's better than Jones or Phil Simms or whoever. Again, the Giants never really know how to draft a quarterback. They settle on Phil Simms. They get Hostetler, who wins them a Super Bowl because he handed the ball off and they played Lawrence Taylor ball, which is what Dallas should be doing. Well, Dallas now has Will Grier and Deuce and the Deuce whatever guy from Kansas State, Deuce Vaughn. Dallas should win that division hands down by a mile if he would play Will Grier and Deuce Vaughn. A little bit of Pollard, and you got Michael Irvin and whoever at wide receiver, and you got the linebacker. I keep fucking up his name, but Dallas has better. Will Grier's better than Hurts. We know he's better. That's their weak point. Their weak point's the quarterback, right? Prescott's the weak point, but Dallas is too blind to see it, or they don't want to admit they made the mistake. It's like the war in the Ukraine. The U.S. is there, and they won't admit they made a mistake. They thought Russia was weak. They thought Russia didn't have money, didn't have this and that. And then Russia's like, now they're up to 750,000 troops. You don't want them attacking. You're making them attack. You don't want that. You want to keep the sleeping bear sleeping. Say, you know what? You're right. Galaxy Quest, you're right. We'll pack up the Omega 13 and put it. I mean, that's basically what they got. What they're doing is they're fucking up. Now they're pissing off Russia, and Russia's got a strong military. They're building weapons all the time. They got a lot more than you think. Putin's been very extremely calm about not nuking us, which he easily could have done, but he doesn't want to nuke. They don't do business with the U.S., so you can't use that as, they won't go to war, we won't buy their goods. It's gas and oil, gold and diamonds. There's nothing that they need to sell to us. They sell to China, they sell to Europe, and they sell to Switzerland, so they don't need us. But we won't admit we're wrong. We won't admit, we fucked up. Okay, let's end this war now. They're going to keep going. Because the goal was from the nationalists, the Gates and Zuckerbergs and all the other idiots and Fink, who have no idea. They're all a bunch of like losers who are IT guys, right? Gates and Zuckerberg, they have no clue. They're just programmers. And Fink he sold property in California. He was like a real estate agent. This is Larry Fink, the Vanguard guy. None of these guys have a brain in their head. But let's go to Russia and break them, and we'll make them our slaves, like we're trying to make the U.S. our slaves, and we'll get all these people into the country, and we'll get them away from religion and break them down. And Russia doesn't want anything to do with that shit. They want to steal all the gold and oil and gas. So they're trying to steal all that from them, and they're under the facade of this war, which isn't really a war. It's to go into Russia to steal their goods. And Putin's like, fuck, you're not doing that to us. But they won't admit they're wrong. So they'll keep killing Ukrainian people because they're paying Zelensky, who's the biggest fucking loser in the world. This guy is just taking the money and killing his own people. Everybody thinks Zelensky's this good guy. Zelensky's a fucking rat. He's selling out his own people for money. Give me the money. Yeah, we'll use my soldiers to fight the Russians. And now the Ukrainians are the ones surrendering, going up to the Russian troops saying, no, we don't want to, because they're not getting them out. They're just going to keep the war going till they're all dead. And so the soldiers are like, I'm not going to die for this. I'm surrendering to Russia. Russia takes them in. That's fine. And that's what's starting to happen now. So the Ukrainians are the ones surrendering, not the Russians, because they painted the picture like the Russian soldiers were the ones surrendering. No. They've had very little. There's been 400,000 Ukrainian soldiers dead to about 30,000 for the Russians. So that's unofficial from McGregor. Again, do we trust McGregor? I don't know. He sounds good, but of course he does. Let's see if this is the big D. Which one of my Russians is this? Yes, it is Daria. Good. So when it's Daria, I got to take it because she's at work now. She likes seeing me. She thinks I'm pretty. All right. See, it's nice getting the text it shows they care. And that's why with Kenzie, she's on Telegram. And I said, I got off with it. Why doesn't Kenzie use WhatsApp? Here's Daria in St. Petersburg, Russia, at work, takes a minute to say, hi, love you, I'm okay, I'm at work. But Kenzie, who's, as far as I know, free in LA or Las Vegas, I'm not sure. Her Twitter says LA, Las Vegas. I keep saying, why don't we meet in Vegas? But she never wants to. That's the puzzling part about Kenzie. Like, do you want to meet? Well, I can meet you in Vegas. I can fly to Vegas, get a suite at the Venetian, and we can meet there. And you're there anyway. So I'll sign up and we'll meet, and off we go. I'll take you to dinner. Boom, boom, boom. If you need some money for the date, whatever, and come back and spend a week with me there. But she won't do that. She wants to come here, which is even a bigger red light. You want to come here, so you want me to pay you money, but you don't even want me to pay for your flight, just for your time. Why don't we just meet in Vegas? Or it's like going to Amsterdam. You go to the red light district, you meet the girls in the room. It's not that hard. You can pick and choose 1,000 hot girls, and you spend time with them. Here's 50 euros, let me get to know you. And that's what I don't understand from Kenzie, where here's Daria, can do it. Jenna texts me in the morning. And yet Kenzie won't use WhatsApp. What's that all about? Anyway, Danny DeVito, yeah. I thought you meant Danny DeVito from Twins movie with Arnold. Well, him too. I think he did that. And then he went to Syracuse and played quarterback and grew about 2 feet, and then he went to Illinois. But I heard DeVito, on the Lions game, and I go, I know that name. And then I checked it, and he was Syracuse and Illinois. He was pretty good, better than Daniel Jones. Where do they find these quarterbacks? It's embarrassing that these are the quarterbacks they use. See, now I still have a little General Chow left. But I'm trying to be like, okay, let's have it for dinner. So this is the way I'm kind of half fasting. So I got the one order, so I certainly could have eaten it all for dinner Saturday night, but yet I don't. Anyway, so eat a little. See, I'm eating a little, and then I'll go swimming soon. And they'll probably have one of these football games on. Frisco and Oakland will probably be on. But that's what you'll look for. So there was this interesting YouTube thing. I won't run it, but I'll show you. Here's how I like this. Bud Light removed from shelves and tap. They sold Bud Light to a Canadian company, and they'll call it something else. And they lost billions of dollars because of this woke bullshit. See, you must understand one thing. You cannot fuck with Austrian economics. You can't fuck with the market. We control everything. We control everything. Let's see, I'm looking for this one. So here's this one, the CIA one. And he gives how the CIA tries to get information. he wouldn't get shit from me because I'd spot him a mile away. But what it says is, like, they try to, here, I'll show you.
Defeating a criminal who tries to attack you is surprisingly simple. You just need to follow the Romanian Rambo's 2 golden rules of credit for.
So that's what it is. And it's a CIA guy, and he tries to explain there's 3 different personalities we have, and I won't get too much into it, but basically there's the personality that is the public one. So you're being nice, but you don't mean it. You're just trying to be friendly to somebody at work or at that. And then there's the private personality that you share with your girlfriend. And then there's the secret personality of, whatever, the dirty personality, or, whatever your little fetishes are, that you really don't tell anybody. Maybe you tell your girlfriend. And so he says what they do is you dig through the public one, and you start talking to a girl or a person, and you start sharing something you have in common. You ask them questions that'll get you to a common denominator. Yeah, I like blue jeans also. And then it's supposed to drop the defenses. And I'm like, I would smell that shit a mile away. So would you, Bobby. That's such bullshit. Because I'm going to talk about gold, right? Which there's no information except what I want to tell you to protect you. So my whole thought is I'm a teacher trying to help you guys. So therefore I don't. So I do not have, this is not a public personality I have. This is my private personality and pretty much my secret personality, because I bring up the girls, but it's to get you to the root of me. So you can trust me. And that's what I want. I want you to trust me because I'm trying to teach you. And I'm not afraid of showing you my private side, which is what I do here. I'm eating, and we're talking the girls, Kenzie. I mean, it's all, you don't see that with Alligator or Egon, because they're showing you their public thing. Or this Maloney or Rick Rude and all these guys are showing you their public personality, not the truth. And that's what I do, is I show you my private personality. So just food for thought. If anybody starts giving you that bullshit and they're trying to really dig you for information, just tell them to fuck off. Say, it ain't going to work with me. I'll tell you now, I show my private personality at the pool now. I don't even show my public personality anymore. So I'm not trying to be friendly there. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just like, I'm here to work out, to fix my back, to swim, hot tub. And I'm not there to really be friendly. Now, if I see a hot looking girl that I want to talk to, then I'll be very friendly with her, but I'll be my private personality with her. I'm not going to kiss her ass to get her to talk to me. You're going to talk to the professor. Do you own gold? I mean, I'll see a hot girl, and that's my first question. Do you own gold? Do you understand what's happening? And they'll say no, and I'll just laugh at them and say, well, you better, because you're going to get fucked. If you hold dollars, you're going to get fucked. And that's how I talk to people now. I'm not trying to be friends with them. I'm trying to protect them. But I thought it was interesting in this YouTube about how the CIA tries to get data from you and how they try to recruit. And so it's probably like poker, where the guy tries to get information out of you. So when they start talking at the table, they're trying to get information out of you. My information is I bet TCU over Michigan. That's the information I give you at a poker table. When I'm in the hand, I don't say a word. If Daniel Nagano and I were playing poker and he does his bullshit talking, I just look at him, boy, you ain't getting shit out of me. And I just go back, and I wouldn't talk to him at all. I wouldn't play his game. I'd play my game. But that's what he does. He tries to be CIA and talk to you and get, oh, what'd you have? Why the fuck should I tell you what I had? This is poker. You pay for it. If you want to pay, I'm not going to just give you information. Now, maybe I'll lie to you and say I had a pair of aces and I had a 2 and a 9, but I'm not going to show you that either because you might pick up that I'm lying or the way I lie. So there's nothing I'm going to tell you in a poker hand. But that's what I'm looking for when I play is the little private stuff that they have that they're not trying to show you. And the same thing with girls. You're looking now. What happens with girls is you'll look at a girl and she smiles at you, and you think that's the green light, and you start talking to her like the girl at Toyota, and then she says, then apparently she tells HR, I'm not interested in him. And I said to HR, why doesn't she tell me? What is she, like a 5-year-old? This is a girl you've got running in your HR department. She can't come to me and say I'm not interested when apparently her body language says she is interested. So this is, this is what's going on there. So this is the problem with women. They don't know how to, they're kind of bad bluffers, and they kind of don't know what signals to give, or I don't want to hurt his feelings. What the fuck is that? So I'm going to lie to you to not hurt your feelings when in effect I'm hurting your feelings. Nobody wants to be lied to. Do I lie to you? No. What the fuck? So that's the problem. That's why I like the European women. They're very honest. If they smile at you, they are serious. They're smiling at you, including the red light girls. They're very kind of honest because they're happy to meet you. They're happy to meet, an American. Jenna doesn't lie to me. Daria doesn't lie to me. So that's what you get, right? When they give you the smile, they mean it. That's why I like the European. I don't like these American games where they smile at you and then, no, I don't want to go out with you. I'm just smiling at you. Like, what the fuck? So that's the problem with the U.S. girls, because you're looking for signals to figure out their private personality, and they give you the public fake smile or whatever, so you think they like you, or they'll play where you think they don't like you. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. The U.S. people, most of the U.S. people, they're fucking idiots. What you think of the Illinois-Toledo game week 1? I think it's an under. Illinois, who knows what their quarterback is, has a good defense. Brett Bielema is playing Wisconsin ball, so they're going to play an under. Toledo's got a good quarterback, but Illinois' got a strong defense. So I don't think there'll be a lot of points. What do you watch after swimming when unwinding in the evening these days? Well, between Netflix, Tubi, Pluto, and then my own DVDs, like yesterday, I was watching My Cousin Vinny. I've been watching Eurotrip, Disclosure I like with Michael Douglas, in which I've commented is really the worst business movie I've ever seen. It's the dumbest business movie. So Donald Sutherland is running this $1 billion tech company. He's going through a merger, and he wants to have his new manager from the outside, who doesn't know what the fuck she's doing, Demi Moore, have an affair with a married Michael Douglas on Monday, and they're selling the company on Friday. Who does that? Why the fuck would you do it? And it was planned because they wanted to get rid of Michael Douglas. Why do you want to get rid of him? He's running your division. And then behind the scenes, Demi Moore is corrupting the line of making the I guess it was a DVD player or something. This is back in whatever, 80s, 90s. And she's corrupting the line on purpose, but not telling them, and the plant manager's not telling them. And Michael Douglas is, clueless to what's going on. The whole thing makes no sense. Why would you corrupt your own line? Why would you not tell your plant manager to tell your manufacturing manager? Why would you keep him in the dark? Why would you want to get rid of him? And why won't you just let the sale happen? I guess it was a merger. It's $100 million he's going to make. Well, then why would you do anything? Just let everything go, do the merger, and then if you want to fire him, fire him. I mean, what did he do that you want to fire him? So it became a very stupidly written, where Attack on Wall Street was good, but they missed the point of the guy buying $60,000 worth of gold would have been his answer out. I've been watching The Last Dance finally on Netflix. I don't know what that is. Oh, yeah, My Cousin Vinny. I had that DVD too. I love that movie. Yeah. That's a better written movie than this Disclosure, which is more of a business movie, and it's made pretty intensely, but it's so stupid. Nobody would ever do or say what they do or say. And My Cousin Vinny is such a good, well thought out movie that he sees they're trying to fuck. They're doing a Madoff on him, and he picks it apart. Did you see it? I mean, I didn't like the beginning where he didn't know he could fight it and just say, no, I plead not guilty. Like, why didn't he just say that? And then and he keeps going to prison. And then the guy the judge takes it to trial with absolutely no, there never should have happened. There was no cause. There's witnesses, really? You have witnesses? And why didn't Vinny talk to the witnesses before? He didn't know he could. Really? You're an attorney and you didn't go to talk to another attorney or his judge friend or whatever. So there's some stuff like that it never should have went to trial. I'm surprised Herman Munster didn't start pounding his desk like Herman would and jumping up and down and having his temper tantrums. I thought he should have brought in a little Herman Munster into it since he played him. Or Grandpa or Lily could have been in the courtroom and Get Up, and he could have said, who are you? It could have been cute, but well done movie. He breaks it apart, sort of like the way I break down the football, right? I'm going over it and just picking it apart, going, no, Lamar Jackson sucks. Josh Allen sucks. And everybody's no. And I'm like, I'm breaking it down. Yes, he does. He can't read a blitz. He can't throw the ball 20 yards. Field sucks. And I'm saying the same thing Vinny does. It's a house of cards, and they're showing you the thin. It's a brick, but it's a thin brick. It's not a regular brick. And that's what I am doing in football or women or poker or anything is breaking the bricks down and saying, no. It's not a real brick. He's bluffing. It's not a real brick. It's if you look at it from this angle, it's thin. I thought the Karate Kid was very weak in the movie. I didn't get why he was in it. I think they could have casted it better than the Karate Kid. But Karate Kid's pretty pathetic. He did the Karate Kid movies where he was really just a wimpy kid. And, like that was hard enough to believe he could beat the big guys. And then all he can get is a My Cousin Vinny role where he looks like shit in that role anyway. But yeah, I like that movie. Disclosure you would probably like. Euro Trip I love because of all the Europe stuff. That was good. I just got 24. So I was watching like season 5. It's 24 hours, so it's a good watch. But I have the DVD, so it's like 40 minutes an hour, not the full hour. So, if you got a couple hours, you can watch, about 8 hours of it. And season 5 is where that real wimp president's in there. And he reminds you of Biden. He's just a corrupt, crook, weak, spineless. And it's like Biden watched that, and that's what he's doing. He's just taking it to the T. Very weak, very stupid. Just a moron, and it really makes presidents and governments look like the truth, like they're very bad. That's why I say we need Jack Bauer now, because he smells out the corruption and he kills all these people. And that's what we need now. We need to get all this crap that's in the government out of it. We need Jack Bauer to figure it out and destroy these guys. And Unfortunately, I don't think there is a Jack Bauer that's out there, or a Batman that gets rid of the bad, and that's what we need. Right now, it's just pathetic. We'll destroy all the Ukrainians and steal all the Russian stuff, and we'll blame the Ukrainians on it. We won't take any acknowledgement that we're behind it. Oh, my fucking God. The Last Dance is the 10-episode series about the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan. I hate the Chicago Bulls. I'm a Detroit guy. I did root for the Pistons, so I can't watch Michael Jordan. Joe Pesci be funny. I like when the friend thinks he's going to rip him, and Pesci says, "What the fuck is your problem?" Oh, when the friend thinks, yeah. That was kind of stupid, but yeah, it was a little bit funny, but you knew it was Vinny, so it didn't really go over very well. Biden is also very clumsy and goofy, falling around everywhere. I don't think it's really Biden. I think it's an actor. I think Biden's somewhere in a padded cell with the Joker and the Riddler, and I think he doesn't know what day it is. Just like I was told once, and I don't know if I believe it, like the whole McMahon families are not the real McMahons. They're all actor wrestlers. So Vince McMahon, that's really the wrestler Vince McMahon, not the guy who owns the state. The company is not the Vince McMahon you see wrestling, or Shane McMahon or the daughter. None of them are. They're all actors playing wrestlers as the McMahons, not the real McMahons. I don't know if it's true or not. It certainly makes sense. How could they all be wrestlers, right? Yeah, Vince McMahon's 80 years old, gonna wrestle. And then you got the kid who's going to wrestle, and the daughter is going to wrestle. That might be like Triple H's wife, but not Stephanie McMahon. So there's a lot of bullshit that goes on, a lot of doubles. I like this movie, The Hitman, with Timothy Olyphant and Ola Kurienko. And it's in Russia. And he's a hitman, and then they try to kill him because he knows that Belikov, the Russian president, is a double, and he kills the real one. The double's running around, and he goes, "How? The guy I killed him? I know I'm a professional killer. I killed him. I know I killed the real guy." And she says doubles, and like Saddam Hussein, and that's a really good movie. I never tire watching that one, but I like that I see St. Petersburg. So I take pictures to Daria because that's where she lives, and I show her the St. Petersburg, and she's all excited that I'm showing her I'm watching a movie, St. Petersburg. But that was a very good movie. I like that a lot. And Timothy Olyphant's just perfect in the movie as the hitman. And you don't want to fuck with that. We need that guy here. Take out the government, and we'd all be much better off for it. So I like that kind of movie too. But the one movie I like is Where Eagles Dare with Richard Burton and Clint Eastwood, but I can never find it. I watched it a little bit, but it's one of those I can watch 5 times in a row, and you miss all the parts, but it's a very clever. I like the clever movies. So I watched that. Kelly's Heroes I like. I just got Absolute Power. I found at the disc replay store where they sell them for like $2, and then what do I care? I left most of mine in Alabama, but since the movers and I don't talk, I don't know how to get it. So I just said, fuck it, I'll just buy new. And Absolute Power is Clint Eastwood, and he robs money from a guy, and then the president's Gene Hackman kills the guy's wife. Okay, really? This is where you're going with the movie, that the president of the United States is fucking his biggest donor. He's fucking the guy's wife, and then they start fucking, and then he kills her because she slaps him. And Clint Eastwood's in the safe, robbing the safe because he's a master thief, and he witnesses it. Really? So this is what you're going with. The president of the country, who could get all the Kensies he wants, would go out with his biggest donor's wife. Really. And we're supposed to believe that. And they kill her. Why kill her? She's attacking him because he's beating her, so she's fighting back. So let's kill her. Are you out of your fucking mind? Who came up with that one? Now it's a good movie, but a little bit strange writing, and the whole plot's a little. I like Clint Eastwood as the thief, but you got Gene Hackman as the president killing his biggest donor's wife. Seriously, this is the plot you came up with? Okay. Yeah, Biden, well, he's not clumsy. He's old. He's probably dysfunctional, has what, he probably doesn't know what day it is. And then when you see him making a speech, there's clearly not the same guy. And then he'll walk off the stage the wrong way. He can't read the I can't believe that real Joe Biden can read the teleprompter and say what he sees, that he can even read it. And that it would connect, that he can read it and say what's on the teleprompter. And then he goes off, then he's done and he doesn't shake hands. He goes the wrong way. They all got to come and get him. This is the leader of the U.S. Yeah, this is the guy making all these statements. What I don't understand is if you're Kansas City, why do you get rid of Mahomes and Kelsey, right? You've got the best team. You add to it. We're the U.S. We're the number one. And yeah, what are we doing? We're destroying our money. We're creating all this debt. We're letting all these people in the country to try to ruin the country. Why are we doing all this stupid, incredibly dumb things? Like, we don't know what's going on. We see the problem at the border. We see you're fucking the inflation of the dollar. We're smart enough to go, we see what you're doing. And the only thing we can do is buy gold because it's all so corrupt. Being run by Gates and Buffet, and I don't know about Zuckerberg. He's too stupid. And notice they all have Chinese wives and girlfriends who are all Chinese agents who are corrupting that. And it's just amazing that why would you fuck up your whole country? What are you doing? Unbelievable. Biden needs to do a fast. Biden needs to fast for a year. It is funny though. People don't understand the fasting. I tell Jenna, she's got high blood pressure and she's still got it. And she's taking her pill for it. She says it's a little bit today. And I said, stop with the sugar, stop drinking. She keeps blaming the heat. Well, it's the heat. That's why I have it. And I go, Jenna, what the fuck are you talking about? It's the sugar because the heat. You don't get high blood pressure because it's hot outside or humid. What are you talking about? So I keep telling her, would you stop drinking? Because she'll show me she's drinking. When I'm with her, she'll get drinks. I won't get drinks. See, she knows my private personality. So I say I don't drink. The public, so most guys would have their public personality on. See, Jenna, you want to drink? Well, I don't really drink, but I'll have one because I want you to like me. And the professor doesn't fuck around like that. No, I don't drink. I don't want to get diabetes. That's a lot of sugar. I don't need the sugar. I'm not going to drink. And in fact, I would normally get like the Coke Zeros when I'm with her until now with the fucking problems I have with the gout. Now it's just water. So I tell her I don't want Diet Coke. When we were in Barcelona, don't let me have any Diet Cokes. And I didn't. I did have orange juice, but which probably didn't help me either because it's full of sugar. But see, that's how I am with Daria and Jenna. Is they know they know the private Howard, not the public, not the private, but the third personality. Because at this point, it's like, this is who I am. Either if you don't like me, I want to know now. I don't want to play bullshit with this public personality and you like that, but then this is how I really am. I bet football and I teach economics and I buy gold. I'm not going to hide that from you. This is who I am. So you either like my private personality or fuck off. That's how I am. And then most girls like that I'm honest, so they like that part of it. But that's what you get with me. So I don't try to pick up girls. I just start talking gold, and they get so impressed that I know that you pick them up that way. Both Daria and Jenna, Irina know I got gold. I collected. I show them, hey, I went, I bought 2 ounces of gold. I bought 3 ounces of gold. And they see it, and, their eyes widen going, oh, good, I get part of it. And that's why I give Jenna some gold. So not only does she understand it, but then she's taken care of. But that's the only way to be, is you got to be your private self, not your public self. You don't want to walk around smiling, hi, da 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 da, and it's all fake. Everybody can smell it's fake, and I don't want the girl to be fake. I want her. Let's start talking gold, girl, and either you like it or you don't. You don't like it, fuck off. I don't have time to make public friends. I want private friends. I knew that, but now after watching the CIA guy, now I understand. It's sort of like I knew I was an INFJ, but now I understand it, and now I can control it, or not really control it, but I know what it is. Fast for a year. Yeah, well, that's what he needs. How about coffee? Do you drink at public spots when on vacation? I'll do it in the morning when you have the buffet that the hotel serves you that you pay for. I will have coffee then. If we're out at the beach, like in Barcelona, and we go into that Chinese restaurant that serves American and Chinese, no, I will have water, maybe a Diet Coke. I will not have coffee. I will get green tea. I think at that place, I'll show you in Barcelona. So this was right on the beach. Really nice restaurant. So this is where we would eat lunch, right on this. So I took a video of the sound of the. Here. There's the professor enjoying the Mediterranean. So I'd walk out to here and I'd do my back exercises. And then we would go eat there. And then I would get green. Now Jenna would drink, and her friend Natasha would drink. But I wouldn't drink. I don't feel peer pressure. I don't allow that to happen. That's not going to happen. So I do exactly what I do. And either you like me or you don't. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to be fake so you like me. And that's why I have such long-lasting relationships, because people see I'm honest. You never get a change in me. And you've been on here a lot, Bobby, Nick, and now Luke. Phil's probably watching somewhere. Do I ever change? I'm basically, this is me being real, and my private personality you're getting. You're not getting me trying to sell you like Maloney or Rick Rude or Rickard or any of those assholes. You're not getting that. I'm not trying to paint a picture to sell you anything. There's nothing I'm selling. So except football is different. But you can see the results because I give you the pick and the game wins, and you're like, yeah, you gave us the pick and it won. But that's what you're getting, is you're always getting my private personality. So, and it's always the same. I'm giving you what's happening, and you're like, oh, okay. I know I can trust him because he's giving me his private personality. He's not being a salesman giving me his public personality, but that's really not him. So you're getting the real me, which is fascinating that I do that without really knowing I'm doing it until I saw the CIA thing. Yeah, it looks like the owner of the coin store I go to wasn't there, and he had his Saturday guy in who appears to not have know much. When I tried to make conversation about metals, it's probably a clerk. He literally started talking about the weather. Oh, my God. Good salesman. Not even a salesman. I mean, you would get me like this if it was, I'm working at a coin store, right? I'm going to tell you to buy gold and silver. I'm going to tell you the dollar's collapsing. You're not going to believe me, or you might think, well, he's just trying to sell me. But no, I'm telling you the truth. He told me, hey, man, be careful with the weather out there. You're supposed to feel like 115, so you don't want to pass out or anything. So he's trying to be caring and sincere. Nice guy, and I appreciate him looking out, but I was trying to talk some silver. I respect it. Oh, thank you, Bobby. Well, that's why I do it. You see really me. Same thing when I pick the football games. When I tell you I like New Mexico State over Mass, I'm betting that game. And then I show you the bets. You see I bet it. You see I talked about it. And it's not like I'm telling you New Mexico State and then I bet UMass. Or these idiots on BetMGM or something where they talk. Who the fuck? Yeah, I'm going to play the Lions to win the NFC Central and I'm getting 20-1 odds. Oh, what the fuck? Why would you? What a stupid bet. And then do you really make the bet? Who knows? But I'm telling you what I really am doing. So if you buy my picks, you see New Mexico State. Yeah, he did pick it. He talked to us about it. So I'm trying to do the fine line between, well, here's my picks that the customers are buying, and here's how I'm betting them versus just talking about the picks. And then you're trying to say, well, I'm going to bet that because he talked about it. You got to be careful because I'm not betting all these games, but I can talk about all these games because that's my skill set. But no, I mean, that's the thing. I'm being very real and very honest. I respect your time for being here as I hope I get your respect back. Not you, Bobby, but everybody. And that's what I'm trying. That's the whole purpose of it. And I'm not trying to be a gimmick or give you my public, but that's the thing I hear about, let's say, porn stars or movie stars. Well, that's not the way Brad Pitt is in real life, or that's not how Kenzie is in real life. She'll have sex with 20 guys, but that's not how she really is in real life. You're like, well, she did it in the movie. What do you mean that's not how she really is? And that's what I get, where some of these girls do it on the film, but they don't do it in real life. You're like, but that's your job. That's what you do. How can you be phony about it? And that's what you don't like, is that you think you're getting an apple and you get an orange. That's why I like the girls in Amsterdam. You're with them. You're getting, that's it. That's the real McCoy. You see them. It's really them. You see the way they look. You see the way they act. You give them 50 euros. And you meet them and you can do whatever you want. And then they tell you yes or no. But you're meeting the real girl. She's not like, oh, I'm acting, but I'm really not like that in real life. No, you're with them in real life. That's what I like about Daria and Jenna. I got the real McCoy. I mean, that's who they really are. Or Irina, I know very well. Carmen does a little fake where she says one thing and does another, which is why I'm not interested in Carmen. I don't like liars. And she wants the money, but she doesn't take care of me. Well, fuck you. I don't need you. I'm not desperate for one girl. That's why I have 5 and 10, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I'm not trying to hurt the girls. I'm not trying to cheat on them. I'm very open, but you get what you get. So I'm not going to take fake. Right? Don't pretend. Don't say A and then you do B and you don't do A. Well, I turn off. I do the INFG, close the door, and there's a lot of people at the club I close the door to. But if you want to fuck with me, I immediately close the door. I don't need you. Off I go, because I'm open and honest and show you my private personality. I know exactly what I got, and then I can read the guy's public personality. And just say, fuck you. Hey, Luke, how are you today? We didn't do baseball, but we did go through the football highlights from yesterday's games, and we really like Stenson Benson from Georgia. We laughed at C.J. Stroud, and we laughed at Richardson, they played the way we thought. The guy from Alabama sucked. And then we liked the way some of the guy from the Giants looked good, Danny DeVito. Anyway, so to finish up my thought, Bobby, so I met the guy in the hot tub who I was kind of friendly with, and he works there. And so he goes to me, I'm going to get married. So I assume I'm getting his public self, not his private self. And I asked him why. Now I'm being private, Halbert. I'm going, why would you get married? You're in your 20s. Knowing what I know, you need to go date like 10 girls and make up your mind and take a couple of years before you figure that out. And he says, well, I'm going to marry because I love her. And I go, okay, but what else? And he started getting mad at me. And I'm being very honest, like, dude, that lasts you about a year or two. Unless it's your twin flame or a big soulmate, that's going to end. You're going to be attracted to her until she loses her looks. And then what are you going to do? And what if you meet another girl that you're young, you're going to meet a lot of other girls. Or what if you meet another girl that's more, which is what my whole economic talk is on competition. And so the guy, oh no, I won't meet another girl. Oh, what if you go to a bar and you meet a girl or you meet a waitress? Tiger Woods met a million waitresses. So what if you meet a waitress you like? You want to go out with her and you got the wife, but what if she's a better girl than the wife or the girlfriend? Oh no, that won't happen. Oh, God, really? That won't happen. Oh, you live a different life. You live in a bubble. So I don't talk to him now because I didn't like the way he responded, and he didn't like the fact I said, why are you getting married? Now, I'm being dead serious. Even if it was you, Bobby, I'd say, why are you getting married? Did you date 10 girls and this is the one and you know it? Okay. I'm just asking the question because I don't want you to get hurt and I don't want you to get divorced because it costs a lot of money and a lot of pain, and you want to avoid that so you don't get caught in it in the first place. So now I don't like him because that was probably his public self. I see his private self as he doesn't like me. Oh, fuck you. I don't need you. You're a fucking towel boy at a pool club. I don't need you. I tried to help you. You refused me. It's like this other guy. He wears this little patch on his skin because he's diabetic. And I tell him, just fast. And I go into my whole spiel. We learned from the doctor, fast. If you fast, you'll get rid of your diabetes. So I tell him, and he seems interested. And then I see the little patch on him again. I says, what are you doing? According to our doctor, you should not be wearing the patch. You shouldn't get any more insulin put into your system because it's going to kill you. It's a waste. It's not what you need. And he didn't listen to me. I don't talk to him anymore. I'm trying to help you, and you're slapping me in the face, disrespectful. As Vinny would say, I got no more use for this guy. So I don't even bother talking to him because you just showed me you're disrespectful. So what the fuck do I want to talk to you for? Why do I want to give you a minute of my private self? Why do I want to give that to you? I don't want to give it to you. I'd rather meet somebody else or wait for Daria and Jenna or the girls that are really honest with me that I know I get. So half these people give you their public look and it's all bullshit. And that's what you got to read through is, it's like when a hot girl comes up to you at the bar, she really just wants money, or you see it in these movies. And then the girl kills the guy because she's after his money. So she's being public that I like you. And she really does. There's really a motive. And that's why you just want to go to the private relationship, which is what I'm trying to do with Kenzie. Show me your private relationship, which I can't get to. She won't show it to me. So I don't know what to tell you, Kenzie. Okay, you guys are showing your private relationship. Not much. There's some church and lunch with the family. Always hungry for some BRICS, gold, silver, gun, baseball talk, and football talk. Don't forget the two little bushes over here. Well, we're almost done. It's been almost 3 hours. But basically, to wrap it up, the beginning, we went through the football, a little bit of gold, little bit of girls and poker, personality a little bit. So, each day's a little different. I don't have a plan. I don't have a setting. It's kind of what you guys bring up. But we'll take a look. We got 2 football games today. KC. Now, that was the only game I actually picked was New Orleans because of Haener. Because of Haener and Carr. Because New Orleans, when they bring in Haener, is going to light it up because he's that good. Like Thompson Robinson lit it up for Cleveland. 14-0 New Orleans. Let's see if that's even updated. 17-7 New Orleans. So let's go into the box score. What do you think Haener's doing today? Oh, it's at the half. 17-7. Scoring drive. First quarter. Derek Carr to Woodward. Kirkwood. Jameis Winston to A.T. Parrott. Will Lutz kicked the field goal. Blaine Gabbert. Jesus Christ. Why is he in the game? Is Kansas City going to go to Blaine Gabbert and do you think they have a chance? Mahomes 2 for 2. Steve Boucher 1 for 2. Blaine Gabbert 4 and 8. Carr 6 of 8. And Winston 11 of 13. They haven't even gone to Haener yet. Chocolate Eclair 3 rushes 7 yards. Mahomes, what the fuck is Mahomes running for? 1 for 5. D Prince 2 for 4. Buddy Bell 1 and 0. New Orleans Jay Williams 9 for 28. Is that the guy from the Lions? 9 for 28. Winston still running. Kamara's playing. See, they don't fuck around. He's got Williams out there. He's got Kamara out there. He's got Derek Carr out there, 6 of 8. Winston, they got Mahomes, Chocolate Eclair. Receiving, Eclair 2 of 15. I'm glad to see he's back. Ray Rice 2 for 17, and whoever Rick James is, I think he's a wrestler. New Orleans, Kamara 2 for 21. Thomas is finally playing 1 of 16. Is this Jimmy Graham? Is he still playing 1 for 10? Is that Jimmy Graham? Baker, Cookwood, that's it. So, wow. So you got a full game going on here. You got Mahomes, you got Carr, you got Chocolate Eclair, you got Williams and Kamara playing. This is what you do for preseason. I applaud that. That's what the fuck you do. Now, Haener should play the second half. Who knows? And if it's Gain Blanner, New Orleans is going to win. And it looks like I picked the winner already. But that's why I picked it. And I picked it for Haener, and he's not even in there. They're going with Winston, who they're seeing how good he is, probably to trade him. Because if you got Haener, you don't need Winston. And you got Carr. So between Carr and Winston, Carr is much better. Winston, too many turnovers. Where is Haney from again? Who's Haney? Haney? Did I say Haney? What Haney are you talking about, Bobby? Let me go into the box score so I can try to catch what the hell, smell what you're cooking. Haney. What Haney? Mahomes, Boucher, Gabbard, Winston and Carr, Chocolate Eclair, Mahomes, Prince Bell. Where is this Haney guy? Sorry, Bobby. What game are you talking about? There's no Haney in that. In that. Oh, Haener, Fresno State. Yeah, that's who you're talking about, Haener. Yeah, he lit it up last year. He beat UCLA 2 years ago. Yeah. You're close. Haener. No, he's from Fresno State. Very good quarterback. So is Derek Carr from Fresno State. So that's why the receiver who went to Oakland wanted to play with Carr, Devontae Adams, was from Fresno State. And they lit it up. And that was, I had him high in the draft. I'll never forget my friend said, well, what do you think of him? I go, he's a star. And then now he's proven he's a star, but he was always good. SMU will be very good. Good quarterback. Stone that's why Mordecai left, because Stone was going to beat him out. Same old, they're going to throw the ball 100 times. Very strong offense. They won't do much to help. They're an over team, but keep your eye on Stone. Very good quarterback. So bet them over. We'll do a few more minutes, and then the pool closes at 4:30, so I want to get out of here. Mordecai went to Wisconsin, right? They're usually a running team too, so it's going to be they're not going to be a running team this year. They're switching to the air raid. Wisconsin's extremely different this year. Strong defense, maybe. They're going to play air raid offense with Mordecai. They got some receivers in. So look for them to throw the ball 50 times a game. But the problem is, what will their defense look like? It's not going to be, even if it's the same defense. You saw Michigan and Ohio State, when they go all throwing, in Alabama, their defense suffers. That's why Georgia's the best, because they still run the ball. They throw it to Brock Bowers. They throw short passes. They can hit the longer ones, but they want to do 5-minute drives and rest their defense. Alabama doesn't do that anymore, and you see they're going down. Clemson's going down. Oklahoma, they can't be a strong defense. USC, UCLA cannot be strong defenses when you throw the ball the way they do, and they're on the field for 2 minutes, and they're throwing long passes. They're not resting the defense. So Wisconsin, I don't know that their defense will be any good this year. They don't understand that part of the equation. Luke, Professor, do you think the housing market will begin to decline when BRICS announces the new currency? It's already in collapse. The inflation raises interest rates. So interest rates are extremely high. They're 8, 9%. If you have perfect credit on a 30-year house. If you don't have perfect credit, it's 10, 11%. So it's already collapsing. Now what'll happen is, with BRICS, to your point, when they announce gold and the dollar loses value, all the foreigners sell all their houses, pull all their bank money. BlackRock's already doing it. Flint is already moving his money out of the country. I don't know where he's moving it to, because there's nowhere to go. Can't go to China. You can't go to Europe because they got inflation. So I don't know where Flint's going, but that's what's going to trigger it, is all these foreigners, the Germans, the British, the Swiss, China, Japan, are going to pull their money out because they don't want to keep it in dollars. Will they buy gold? I assume part of it will go to gold, but they're going to have to sell their house to get out of it. So you're going to have all this selling. Selling will be here and demand will be here. So that means I got to sell. Well, I'm not going to give you $500,000 at 10%. So boom, boom, boom. They got to get their price down to the market. The market always wins. It always controls. That's why these countries like Russia, the communist ones, Cuba, that's why they always go bankrupt, because they don't understand the market. So therefore, they're trying to sell things here in the markets here. So let's say Cuba wants to sell electric cars, but they're going to put the price in here, which is not going to be at market, and the market's going to be here, and they're not going to sell any cars because people are willing to buy them here, and then their economy collapses because they don't make any sales because they don't understand the free market. That's why you must understand the free market. You can only sell at that. So if me and Bobby are selling his gym shoes, he's got to understand the market. I can sell them for 50, but I can't sell them for 100. People will not pay 100. So Bobby's got to keep them at 50. And if Bobby can't make money at 50, he's got to go out of business. He can't try to make it 60 because the market will say, I'm only giving you 50 for it. So you got to be smart enough as a businessman to understand your market, to understand what the market says, what they'll pay for it. Even though your inflation comes and kicks your cost up, there's nothing you got to get out of business. That's why these economies go out in these communist countries, because they can't sell. That's why price fixing doesn't work. Bobby, you got to sell your shoes at $40. I can. It cost me $50, and you get out of business. That's why it's got to be free market economics, not the communist market control that the U.S. is putting in for gold. That's why it doesn't work. People outside the country are buying it. So that's the other problem. It doesn't work. So I think that the housing market's already collapsing. But yeah, any announcement, if you even see an announcement, you think you're going to see an announcement on BRICS going to gold? What channel are you going to be watching? MSNBC, the Communist News Network, CNN, maybe does Fox show anything? I doubt they show anything. So you're not going to find it there. You're going to find it from me and Alligator and Egon. That's who you're going to find it from. And how many people are watching us? Not a lot. That's why everybody's blindsided. Well, nobody warned me. I saw something on that in Hawaii. Nobody warned me the hurricane was coming. You couldn't see the fucking wind? Does somebody have to tell you everything? You couldn't look outside, see the black skies, and see the wind blowing to realize there's a hurricane coming? No, you've got to watch your TV, and you got to have the air raid sirens go off for you to fully understand that? Really? And you're the same people that when the gold goes up and so nobody told me I needed to buy gold. Yeah, okay. Bobby, you think they'll kill Buffalo week 1? The Jets? I don't think they'll kill them, but I think they'll win the game straight out. Too much defense. You always want to bet defense. Aaron Rodgers is not going to fuck around throwing the ball 50 times. He's going to mix it up, and he's going to run the clock down to 1 like he did at Green Bay. And they're just going to slowly, methodically just shut down Buffalo. A couple of interceptions and sacks on Allen. He freaks out when he's blitzed and he gets sacked. It's like Cincinnati did to him in the playoff game. Well, you asked the same question, Bobby. You guys stop kissing each other's ass. Luke, the global demand for the USD will evaporate once a gold-backed BRICS is announced. Luke, the global demand is already gone from the U.S., right? 81 countries want to join BRICS. They don't want to deal with it. The problem is there's no other currency to go into. So the Titanic's sinking, but there's no other boat to jump to. So they're all going to the light boats and sinking until the gold boat shows up and they can all get on the gold boat. And that's exactly what they're waiting. So people in Germany want to trade in Swiss francs. They got to buy US dollars and then take the US dollars to buy the Swiss francs. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Why the fuck would you do that? So what they're trying to do is get it where the Germans go buy stuff from Switzerland or England or France without having to exchange it for dollars and then take the dollars to get euros to buy it or whatever. So that's why they did the euro. So the people in the euros can just buy it. But if you're not in the euros, the UK and Switzerland and Russia and China and Japan, you have to get US dollars to change it into that currency because it's not in the euro to then buy the goods. So that was the kind of the point of the euro. So if I'm Germany, I can go into France and we all have the same currency. Why didn't you just do gold? These people are so fucking stupid. The global demand. There is no demand for dollars. Everybody realizes it for what it is. It's the public facade that, it's U.S. and there's no competition. But in the private world that I live in, nobody wants the dollar. And when I went to Barcelona, like I said, I traded in $300 US dollars. Should have cost me $3.21. It should have been $8. It was like worth 90 cents. So my $100 should have bought me 90 euros, and it should have cost me $327, cost me $360 because there's a big penalty because they didn't want US dollars. So it's already out there. Nobody wants it. That's why we buy gold, because we're thinking ahead going, yeah, they're all going to want gold. All the central banks are buying gold, but who the fuck wants U.S. dollars? Yeah, the mainstream media is garbage these days. I can't even watch it. They may bring hyperinflation. Do you understand what hyperinflation is, Luke? Hyperinflation is when the money's gone. People panic. So go back to Germany, 1923. The hyperinflation was they would get paid at the end of the day, run to the grocery store, buy milk and butter and bread, the necessities, before the prices went up. So they panicked. That's what hyperinflation is. So you get your money, you know it's losing value. You run to Costco, you go buy your milk and cereal, and it keeps you alive for another week. And then the next time, so milk's now $10 a gallon, and you buy it, and then by next week it's $20 a gallon because the dollar has slipped. And that's what Alligator says, is it's not the value of gold going up, it's the value of the dollar dropping. And that's kind of what he means. And that'll happen in the hyperinflation state where you want to go buy a milk or a Pepsi or something, and it's going to be $10, and then the next day it's going to be $20. Basically, the money's worthless. So it's when the blindfold comes off and everybody understands the money's worthless. We understand it now because I'm telling you it's worthless. That's what this is all about. That's why you see a little bit of the dollar, because this is all that's left of the dollar. It's worthless. I'm telling you what you're going to realize if you haven't already. This is worthless. So if I can take 2,000 of those and go buy gold, which is not worthless, which is undervalued, it's as much as I can eat every week, every paycheck, go buy gold. I don't want to be stuck in dollars. I know they're worthless. I know gold's about to go to the moon. It's a no-brainer. I have no risk in gold. It can't go to zero. It never has, even in Roman times. They took the gold out of their gold coin and the silver out of the silver coin, but the gold and silver didn't lose value. The coins lost value because there was now valued in copper. That's why Rome went to shit, not because the value of the gold coin went to zero, because they took all the gold out of the gold coin and the value of the copper coin was zero. The gold, whoever had gold was fine. They didn't have a problem. It's the people with the copper coins that had problems if they knew what was happening, which they probably didn't. But I guarantee you the government or the mint who was doing it took the gold. They knew what was happening. Just like here. Well, here they're too stupid. For some reason, at least being said, is the Federal Reserve isn't buying gold. Are they this stupid that they don't know what's happening? I don't buy that. I don't know why they're not buying gold, even if they're the biggest Keynesians and think that the gold's a pet rock and we'll just keep printing dollars. They can't be this stupid. If these are the people running our treasury and our money, we're better off just nuking them all. I mean, these are a bunch of fucking idiots that are running things. And this is what we have to understand. That's exactly what's happening. We have morons in charge. We have people that are so stupid, like Biden, like Kamala Harris, like all these people. They're so fucking stupid. But here's a guy, George Soros, who keeps putting in these idiots so they won't really challenge George Soros, and he's the one fucking everybody over. So he needs to go to prison for all his corruption. But when you run the judges and you run the laws, you don't go to prison. Like J.P. Morgan, they've been found guilty of price fixing gold, but yet all they do is pay a fine because they're the ones who make the laws, and they're the ones with the judges and the laws, so they will never prosecute themselves, which is the problem with the country and the problem with the lobbyists and the whole problem we have here, which is why we all need to move to Switzerland or Portugal or somewhere where it's a little bit more free and they actually obey laws there. I know Switzerland does. It's a bitch to move there, though. I hear it's kind of expensive to become a citizen. They don't want you fucking around there unless if you're rich, you're not going to commit crimes, and they don't want people who commit crimes in Switzerland. So I got to look into it more. Yeah, maybe I'll have a talk with Egon and we'll go to the bank and then we can see about getting in. Do you think the derivative market blowing would cause it? Just the dollar itself blowing, but yeah, I mean, it's all the same conundrum. The options will go to zero. They'll all go bankrupt. Right now, somebody's buying the derivatives in gold. It's the same person selling them, right? He sells them, lowers the price. Somebody buys them. Nobody takes ownership of the gold. Nobody's selling actual gold. It's all illegal. They should all be in prison for doing it, but nobody will prosecute them, as I just said. So, yeah, I mean, it's all the same. The derivatives, the inflation, the printing of them. It's bottom line, the printing of the money ruins the money. That's where we're at. And just buy the gold. I assume that I would put a fuse on fold and gold. Yes. Well, that's what I'm telling you. The fuse is already lit. All the central banks in Europe, China are buying gold. Africa, Saudi Arabia they're selling oil for gold to China. The U.S. is sitting there and it's like, oh, Saudi Arabia, please don't sell the oil in dollars. Why the fuck would they listen to us? We told them to fuck off. We're saying we're getting out of oil. Why would you want to do business with us when we're bringing in the electric stuff and everybody's getting out of oil? Which can't happen because there's not enough electricity to support all the electric cars. And we all need fossil fuels to live. But besides that factor, you're pissing off the oil countries. The other one's Russia, which you sanctioned, so you can't buy Russian oil. You have oil here, but you won't let us produce it. So I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're basically chopping off our legs. What the fuck are you doing? So, yeah, I mean, the fuse on gold is, it's been on for a while. When you first met, it was already on. But you're not going to hear it, only from me and maybe Alligator and Egon, the people that actually understand it and know what the fuck's going on. Anyway, that's the problem. So with that, I am going to go swim because the pool is only up until 4:30 on Sundays. And I'll be back Tuesday, but keep your eye on these highlights. Let's see, one more football game. Let's see, TCU, Colorado. Take TCU, lay the 20, tease it down to 14. How about that? Texas kill Rice. USC will kill Nevada. And then Bobby's favorite, I like Florida State. He likes LSU in that game. All right, everybody. Have a good day. www.teaserking.com. Enjoy and keep your eyes open for Egon and Alligator. But, yeah, you definitely want to be buying gold. You have zero risk, and it's going to go up 1,000 times. I don't know what else you look for. So it's not only it's an investment, it's safety, it's protection, and the Titanic is going to zero. So you're getting out for that reason and that reason alone. All right, everybody. Have a great day. www.teaserking.com. All right. Thanks a lot. Take care.